Chapter 4:17. This time, Yu Yang's main target was no longer the Scarlet Emperor. It was the Scarlet Concubine. The Scarlet Emperor, who had already escaped from the ancient seal, was still able to preserve his life even if his body was severely injured to the point that he could barely hold on. Previously, when half of the Scarlet Emperor's body was trapped in the ancient seal array, he was not at a disadvantage against Yu Yang. If not for Yu Yang's unique skills and powerful treasures, the Scarlet Emperor would not have suffered such heavy injuries. It could even be said that without the Prison Emperor Divine Seal, Yu Yang wouldn't be able to do anything to the Scarlet Emperor. Yu Yang didn't know what the effect of attacking the Scarlet Emperor would be, so his priority was to kill the Scarlet Concubine. Killing the Scarlet Concubine would definitely be a huge blow to the Scarlet Emperor. Red Lotus. Scarlet Concubine knew that this was the most dangerous moment in her life. Without holding back, she attacked with all her might to fight against Yu Yang. In Scarlet Concubine's heart, her own life was never the first priority. The most important thing was to fight for some time for her lover to recover. She also firmly believed that her lover would not be defeated like this. The gigantic Scarlet Lotus flame danced in the sky. The millions of lotus petals shot towards Yu Yang furiously. The world exterminating wheel was also rotating. Surrounded by the raging flames, the world exterminating wheel mysteriously opened up a path of life, destroying the hundreds and thousands of red lotus fire petals that were coming towards him. Yu Yang's body was as agile as a divine dragon as he quickly slid into the small space that he had opened up. The path that the world exterminating wheel had slashed out and created a whirlpool of air pressure, allowing him to glide forward like a fish in water. It was as if there was someone pushing him from behind. The fire spear formed by the Nirvana flame accurately flicked away the petals of the Scarlet Lotus fire in front of it. Every time the two sides came into contact, it was the beginning of the Nirvana flame refining the Scarlet Lotus fire. Perhaps he would not be able to successfully refine it within a second, but the Scarlet Lotus fire was definitely not comparable to the Nirvana flame. Yu Yang was 100% sure of this. If one were to use levels as an example, a normal flame would be a normal level 1 flame. It was the weakest flame, the one with the least potential to level up, and the one with the least power. The terrifyingly powerful, raging flames burning the heavens or meteor fire rain would be bronze-ranked. Although they were not as powerful, they were still more than powerful. These were also the best flames for ordinary warriors to master. Hellfire and Dragon's Breath. These two types of fire were at least silver-ranked, and some were even gold-ranked. It varied from person to person. For example, the hellfire that the great demon King Baruth mastered was not on the same level as the hellfire that ordinary demons mastered. The green phosphorus willow, the wisp that the Black Prince had mastered, was at least a gold level. It had the will-o'-the-wisp attribute, but its temperature was not the highest. Instead, it was extremely poisonous. It could be considered a heretic. The Scarlet Concubine's Scarlet Lotus fire could be said to be the best of the best. Even the green phosphorus ghost fire couldn't compare to it. It surpassed the ordinary flames of the world, and became a tangible demonic flame. Although there was no real classification of levels, if one were to make a comparison, it could reach the platinum level. Further up, the flames that reached the diamond level would be the Nirvana mythical flame, a type of sacred flame that could destroy the souls of living creatures. This kind of extraordinary sacred flame was almost impossible to achieve through cultivation. It was most likely produced by some kind of divine equipment. Yu Yang had never seen it before. He only knew of its existence from the knowledge inheritance of the pitiful guy's mother. As for the Nirvana flame, it was a unique godly flame. Not only did it have the power to destroy the world, it also had the ability to purify all living things. It even had the godly power to rebirth life. With Yu Yang's current state, he was still unable to fully unleash the power of the Nirvana flame. If the Phoenix Sisters were to unleash it, the Nirvana flame, could even surpass the godly flame and reach an even higher level. Roar! Yu Yang's Nirvana fire spear lifted the scarlet lotus and pierced through everything, aiming straight for the scarlet concubine's throat. Stop! A silver disk flew over with a sky full of silver light. It stood in front of the scarlet concubine and blocked the Nirvana fire spear from piercing her throat. The Nirvana flame that could destroy everything was actually unable to pierce through this strange silver disk that was inlaid with ancient runes. It could only melt a large amount of silver light. As if the silver disk had a life of its own, it suddenly rotated at a high speed and flew back to the Scarlet Emperor's remaining left hand. It kept vibrating as if it was in pain from being pierced by the Nirvana fire spear. Yu Yang did not need to use his Heaven Eye's divine vision to see that this silver disk was a divine equipment. Even if it was not as good as the Prison Emperor divine seal, it should not be too far off. With this divine equipment, it would probably be very difficult to kill the Scarlet Emperor. Yu Yang had thought that the Scarlet Emperor would not be a pushover and that he would definitely have other tricks up his sleeves. However, he did not expect him to have a divine equipment. Guardian Divine Shield, Silver 4-star Divine Equipment. Spiritually integrated. Using the owner's blood as a guide, the Guardian Divine Shield will produce 10 times more protection when the owner's life is in danger. Any power below the level of divine power will not be harmed. It will automatically change its protective form in a specific environment. It will obtain an endless supply of protective energy under the starry sky. Special skill, Flowing Light. Damn! Yu Yang could not help but curse when he saw the information on the silver disc with his Heaven Eye's divine vision. If there was any weakness to the Guardian Divine Shield, it would be that it did not have any attack power. It was a purely defensive divine equipment. However, even if it was like this, it was still abnormal. Especially now, this purely defensive divine equipment was more useful than a purely offensive divine equipment. What made Yu Yang feel slightly comforted was that his Heaven Eye's divine vision could see the Guardian Divine Shield's information, but he couldn't see the Prison Emperor Divine Seal's information. This proved that the Prison Emperor Divine Seal was much more powerful than the Guardian Divine Shield. Of course, the Prison Emperor Divine Seal had not acknowledged Yu Yang as its owner yet. He could only use it to smash people. He could not use it yet. It was like a child who had obtained the Dragon Blade. It was true that the treasure was powerful, but it could not be used at the moment. Our battle is meaningless. You have forced me into a difficult situation, but you still can't kill me. Even without the protection of the divine equipment, I still have more than 10 skills and methods to leave this place. I admit that your appearance has shattered my perception of you. You are an extremely creative and resourceful opponent, and your courage and patience are also not bad. However, I must say that you are still too young. My advantage over you lies in the fact that I have accumulated a wealth of experience that you do not possess. I have all kinds of battle experience, all kinds of arcana techniques, and even all kinds of treasures to use. If I could summon my beasts, I would even be able to beat you up and make you run away instead of letting you force me into a difficult situation. Young man, there is no meaning in continuing to fight. We have to leave now. Let's meet again in the Heaven Realm. The Scarlet Emperor reached out his hand and sucked the Scarlet Concubine back into his embrace, preparing to leave. Under the defense of the Guardian Divine Shield, how could he fight this battle? Now that the Scarlet Emperor was free, his legs were on his body. With his super speed, he could run and slip away whenever he wanted. If he didn't fight, it would be troublesome. If he didn't fight, he would be a little unwilling. Thinking of this, Yu Yang had a headache. Wait a minute, why didn't this fellow take out the Guardian Divine Shield just now? Yu Yang looked at the ancient runes on the Guardian Divine Shield getting redder and redder. The silver star power it emitted was also getting stronger and stronger. Suddenly, he had a realization. This shield could be a shield that needed to absorb its owner's blood to unleash its protective power. Or maybe the Scarlet Emperor didn't have enough power to activate this guardian divine shield at the moment. He had to burn his life and sacrifice his blood to create this divine equipment. Thinking of this, Yu Yang was secretly happy. No matter what, the best way now was to pester the Scarlet Emperor until he collapses. You think you are very powerful just because you have a divine equipment? I am going to beat up a nouveau riche like you. Yu Yang charged forward shamelessly. The Nirvana fire spear transformed into a halberd, dancing all over the sky. Stabbing, chopping, flicking, slashing, hooking, pointing, swinging, shaking. The sky was filled with halberd shadows, attacking the Scarlet Emperor and the Scarlet Concubine. Although the Guardian Divine shield in the air rotated rapidly and blocked all of Yu Yang's attacks, every time the Nirvana fire halberd hit the Scarlet Emperor, the Guardian Divine shield's silver starlight would dim a little. The Scarlet Emperor's body seemed to be unable to withstand it and started to tremble. In the end, his body swayed slightly, as if he was about to collapse. Goddamn thief! The Scarlet Concubine was so angry that her eyes were wide open, her pupils almost spitting fire. She used the last of her strength and condensed almost 1,000 red lotuses. Using both her hands as a guide, she attacked Yu Yang together. Even if the Scarlet Lotus fire couldn't do anything to Yu Yang, who was protected by the Nirvana flame, she wasn't willing to see this shameless brat flaunting his prowess. She swore to fight to the death with him. Facing the sky full of red lotuses, Yu Yang didn't dare to be careless. He wasn't afraid of fire, but the weakened Scarlet Concubine still had the power of an innate level 9. She released 1,000 red lotuses with both of her hands. Not mentioning the high temperature of the flames, just the bombardment power was already equivalent to an innate level 9 strength. Yu Yang quickly retracted his hands to defend himself. He transformed the Nirvana fire halberd into a Nirvana fire shield, protecting his body. Then, he hurriedly raised a Nirvana flame pillar, swallowing all the red lotuses that were attacking him. He was a little proud. After swallowing the red lotuses and combining it with his own Yang ability, he might be able to create a new type of fire ability. Although it wasn't as good as the Nirvana flame, it definitely wouldn't be weaker than the green phosphorus ghost fire. The more fire ability he had, the stronger his control over fire would be, and the higher his battle power would be. More importantly, the more Yang ability he could control, the more beneficial it would be for him to control the new realm of yin-yang integration in the future. The Scarlet Concubine felt that the red lotuses that she released were all cut and swallowed by her opponent. She had completely lost control of them. In addition to that, her spirit, physical strength and energy were all exhausted. She couldn't help but let out a shrill scream. She used up her last breath of resentment and ruthlessness, sacrificing her body as a price, and spat out a blood arrow towards Yu Yang. Once the blood arrow was shot out, the Scarlet Concubine immediately fainted in the Scarlet Emperor's arms. She had already reached her limit. This blood arrow was formed from her heart's blood, resentment and special energy. It carried the power of resentment and anger, and its power was no less than a divine weapon's attack. Yu Yang was shocked. This B***TCH was going all out. He couldn't be careless. He hurriedly used the Nirvana fire shield to protect himself, soul absorption. A golden light flashed in the Scarlet Emperor's eyes. A golden bell-shaped treasure suddenly appeared in the air. When the Scarlet Emperor's pupil power shot out and hit the bell, the entire evil dragon lair immediately reverberated with an earth-shattering tremor, as if the sky was falling and the earth was cracking. The rock walls exploded and broke into pieces. Huge rocks fell from the dome like rain. Yu Yang felt a buzzing sound in his head. The evil energy entered his body, and he had the illusion that his soul was being forcefully pulled out of his body. Fortunately, the innate chi in his dantian heated up and activated the Nirvana flame. The Nirvana flame flowed through his body and expelled the negative energy that forcefully pulled out his soul. However, the dizziness in Yu Yang's head didn't stop for a long time. On the ground, more than 10 energy fountains exploded, ready to kill Yu Yang, who was still in a daze. The Nirvana fire shield surrounded Yu Yang's body and continuously rotated. It automatically protected its owner and purified the energy fountains. Just when the energy fountains were blocked by the Nirvana fire shield and the two energies were still fighting, the blood arrow took the opportunity and shot straight at Yu Yang's chest. Although the blood arrow was slow, its power was unparalleled. When the fire shield hurriedly rotated back to protect his body, the guardian shield suddenly turned into a cylinder and blocked the Nirvana fire shield for the second time. It left an empty space in the middle, allowing the blood arrow to shoot towards Yu Yang's heart. Chapter 4:18. The Scarlet Concubine and the Scarlet Emperor cooperated very well. If not for the fact that both of them were in their weakest state and were heavily injured, Yu Yang would have been beaten to a pulp by them. Blood arrow. Both of them were injured. If not for the fact that both of them were at their limits, they wouldn't need to attack like this. Ah! A shadow flashed in the sky. Bloody Queen Red flew in from outside the evil dragon lair, followed by Barbarian Cow Shadow Man and Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen Duo. They had just come out from the Grimoire world, but they were afraid that the Scarlet Emperor would sense them, so they hid outside until Yu Yang officially started the battle. Bloody Queen Red's speed was even faster. She didn't expect that the moment she entered, she would see Yu Yang in danger. Instantly, Bloody Queen Red dived down without a care for her own safety. She was faster than lightning, her wings forcefully pushing Yu Yang away. She opened her arms and used her body to block the fatal blood arrow. The blood arrow pierced through her heart. The force of the blood arrow sent her flying, crashing into the stone wall. Although Yu Yang knew that she was his guardian beast and wouldn't really die, seeing her being pierced through her heart by the blood arrow and crashing into the stone wall in order to save him, his anger exploded 1,000 times. He hadn't gone berserk for a long time, and he exploded again. Damn, annoying trash! A roar erupted from Yu Yang's throat. His aura was as terrifying as the eruption of a volcano. The shockwave shook the entire evil dragon lair, making the already unstable lair even more dangerous. Countless gravel fell like rain. The ground was torn apart. The cracks that looked like spider webs were getting bigger and deeper. Yu Yang's eyes were crimson red. His mind was blank. Right now, he was completely dominated by anger. He had lost all rationality. He stretched out his hands and gathered the unrefined scarlet lotus fire, the remaining energy from the energy fountain, the guardian divine shield's star power and the remaining blood arrow liquid in the air into a ball. Then, the power of his Yang ability exploded. Yu Yang clenched his fists angrily, as if he was going to strangle some detestable enemy alive. Perhaps Yu Yang's intention was to explode this energy, or perhaps it was just a way to vent his anger. In any case, it wasn't his original rationality, but a kind of extreme anger. However, something strange happened. These chaotic energies, which were forcibly mixed by Yu Yang's anger and his Yang ability, unexpectedly combined and formed a brand new, strange, purple-gold flame. Impossible! The Scarlet Emperor's pupils dilated as the corner of his eyes twitched. No matter who it was impossible for newly refined energy to be formed from the enemy's energy. This was because the enemy's energy not only repelled each other, but it also contained the enemy's will, so it was impossible to easily fuse them together. It was just like how an expert could hold two sharp weapons in his hands, but he couldn't forge the two weapons into one and make it twice as sharp. However, everything that was happening before his eyes was a fact that was already set in stone. He witnessed it with his own eyes. The Scarlet Emperor couldn't help but believe it. After the fusion, this purple-gold flame was definitely not the Scarlet Lotus fire. Although it looked like the Scarlet Lotus fire, it was definitely a brand new flame. Needless to say, it was more powerful than the Scarlet Lotus fire. In the Scarlet Emperor's senses, this new flame also carried a kind of anger and pressure that shocked the Scarlet Emperor, This kind of shocking pressure made him feel both unfamiliar and familiar at the same time. In the past, when the prison emperor was enraged, that kind of pressure was extremely similar to the pressure of this ball of flame. Although it wasn't exactly the same, it was equally overbearing and intimidating, causing all living beings to feel an irresistible fear from the bottom of their hearts. Could it be that this flame had already reached the level of an innate elder to be able to control it? But this brat didn't even have the power of an innate elder. Furthermore, how could he create it in front of him? What was this brat's inherent skill? The Scarlet Emperor felt a headache. Go and die. Maybe it was because he couldn't destroy his opponent's energy, and instead created a new ball of flame. Yu Yang, who had completely lost his mind, became even more furious. He hatefully rubbed that ball of purple gold flame with all his might, wholeheartedly wanting to destroy this thing. Who would have thought that it would instead compress it 10 times? In the end, Yu Yang couldn't take it anymore. His eyes were bloodshot as he roared angrily. His voice was like thunder as he threw the ball of purple gold flames towards the Scarlet Emperor and the Scarlet Concubine. Iron Fortress! The Scarlet Emperor was secretly shocked. He stomped his feet and a treasure appeared. A small white pearl flew out. Inside the pearl, there was an image of a black castle. In an instant, the pearl shattered and the image turned from an illusion to a real existence. It expanded crazily and turned into a castle gate that was made of iron and steel. It was extremely huge. It was 20 meters tall, 10 meters wide and 3 meters thick. It stood tall and blocked the Scarlet Emperor. With it, it could defend against everything. The Scarlet Emperor had tried before. Even the holy sword that was said to be able to cut through everything in the world couldn't pierce through it. What would the extremely strong defense of the Iron Fortress do against this small purple gold flame? Boom! An earth-shattering explosion occurred once again. The rock wall on the west side that suffered the most damage had completely collapsed. A huge gap appeared and a rock piece that was close to 100 meters in length and width slowly fell into the valley. However, compared to it, the rock pieces that filled the sky were even more shocking. In the evil dragon lair, the shockwave was earth-shattering. Even the extremely strong barbaric cow Shadow was pushed back more than 10 meters. The Scarlet Emperor's pupils dilated again, because he saw the Iron Fortress completely shatter under the impact. In the moment of contact, the purple gold flame was smashed into thousands of pieces. It was as if what he threw out wasn't the Iron Fortress, but a sand fortress built by a child on the beach. It looked extremely fragile. Only the Scarlet Emperor knew how strong his treasure's defense was. Damn it! The Scarlet Emperor immediately jumped up high. Before the Guardian Shield could return in time, he didn't dare to take the purple gold flame head-on. On the other side, Yu Yang wanted to charge forward but was stopped by the Guardian Shield. He was extremely angry with the Guardian Shield. He grabbed the Guardian Shield with both hands and smashed it on the ground crazily. He looked like a madman who had lost his mind. The rocks on the ground were smashed into pieces by Yu Yang. Sparks flew and the ground rumbled. Seeing Yu Yang's look, the Scarlet Emperor's heart trembled again. When he went crazy, this brat was no less than an angry prison emperor. The Guardian Shield couldn't be destroyed, but the silver star power on it was dim. It trembled from time to time, as if a person was crying in pain. A madman! The Scarlet Emperor decided to leave quickly. It wouldn't be good if they continued fighting. The crazier this brat was, the more powerful he was. His potential was extremely strong, but losing his mind would be scarier than when he was sly. Because this was the time for him to unleash his true power. The Scarlet Emperor didn't even want the treasures on the ground, including the golden spirit-absorbing clock. Carrying the Scarlet Concubine, he didn't escape towards the west side of the rock wall. Instead, he crashed into the east side of the rock wall that had half collapsed. Ouch! Die, 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 die! Yu Yang realized that the Guardian Shield in his hand had turned into a ray of light and returned to the Scarlet Emperor's side. he immediately chased after the Scarlet Emperor at an astonishing speed. The current him was not slower than the Scarlet Emperor, who had super speed. In fact, he was even faster. His fists that were burning with Nirvana's flame flew towards the Scarlet Emperor like a meteor. The fists were like rain, heavy like thunder. What made the Scarlet Emperor terrified was that among the tens of fists, there were actually two that the Guardian Shield couldn't withstand. They landed directly on his lower back. If it wasn't for the Guardian Shield that blocked most of the fists, he wouldn't dare to say that he could escape from this battle maniac's furious pursuit. The Scarlet Emperor's body exploded with a burst of silver light. 2 long streaks of blood flowed out of his eyes due to overexertion. It was extremely painful. The energy fountain exploded under the Scarlet Emperor's feet. It was incomparably sudden and sent the defenseless Yu Yang, who only knew how to attack crazily, flying. Borrowing the power of Yu Yang's 2 fists, the Scarlet Emperor accelerated and flew away, breaking through the wall. Then, he stepped onto the Guardian Shield and let it carry him. Like a meteor, he flew far away in an instant. A piece of rock fell, stained with fresh blood. This was spat out from the Scarlet Emperor's mouth when he was punched. From this ghastly trail of blood, it could be deduced that the Scarlet Emperor, the rancor from 6,000 years ago, had been seriously injured by Yu Yang. If it wasn't for the protection of the divine equipment, he probably wouldn't have been able to escape from Yu Yang's attack. Although he managed to escape, he was also lucky. It was mainly because of the power of the divine equipment. Otherwise, the outcome would be hard to say. On the other side, Yu Yang, who was hit, was smashed into the stone wall. In his berserk state, his defense was extraordinarily strong. Even if he was hit by the energy fountain head-on, he wasn't injured at all. The attack only made him angrier and crazier. Yu Yang lost his target and smashed his fists randomly on the stone wall. The whole evil dragon lair was almost flattened by him. Bloody Queen Red broke through the wall and pounced over. Disregarding the danger, she hugged Yu Yang tightly. Blood flowed from the corner of her mouth, and there was a bloody hole in her chest. Countless blood light and electric arcs crackled from the wound, as if some kind of mutation was happening. However, Bloody Queen Red couldn't care less about those things that were mutating. She only hugged Yu Yang, who was preparing to chase and beat up the Scarlet Emperor. She screamed with tears streaming down her face. "I'm fine. Wake up, don't be like this." She was worried that Yu Yang, who only knew how to attack crazily, would be at a disadvantage if he continued to chase and attack. The irrational Yu Yang didn't know how to defend himself and would be easily hit. Bloody Queen Red was more worried that Yu Yang would be too angry and cause some kind of injury to his body. She felt heartache and worry at the same time. Amidst these complicated emotions, she cried out for her master, hoping to use her voice to make him regain his senses as soon as possible. Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen and Barbarian Cow Shadow also anxiously surrounded Yu Yang and called out to him. At first, the effect was slight. As Bloody Queen Red and the others called out to him, Yu Yang's body trembled slightly. His heart felt something. Yu Yang's violent and crazy aura slowly calmed down. The scarlet-red color in his eyes gradually faded. His eyes regained clarity. Bloody Queen Red was so happy that she cried and laughed at the same time. Her tear-stained face made Yu Yang's heart ache. Yu Yang woke up, but he was a little stunned as he looked at his surroundings. The entire evil dragon lair was almost destroyed by him. However, he didn't seem to remember what he had done. He was still a little confused. What happened just now? The Scarlet Emperor ran away? Damn, why didn't I follow the plan? This place is about to collapse. We have to leave immediately. Leave first. Under his feet, countless purple-gold lotus-shaped flames quickly returned. They automatically floated and danced around Yu Yang's body. Yu Yang couldn't understand. What was going on? Were these flames his? At that moment, he couldn't think too much. Seeing that these flames didn't clash with the Nirvana flame and only avoided the Nirvana flame, he didn't look anymore. He had to leave the evil lair while it was collapsing. Carrying the heavily injured Bloody Queen Red, Yu Yang flew out of the collapsing evil dragon lair from the western gap. Along the way, huge rocks kept falling. The dome was shaking with a rumble. The mountain peak that was hundreds of meters tall was slowly collapsing. As Yu Yang accelerated, he looked back at the ancient sealing circle that was completely unaffected by the collapsing ground. He sighed in his heart. It seemed like he wouldn't be able to study the ancient sealing circle for the time being. Unlike the barbarian cow Shadow and Golden Crown Thornyflower Queen, who stayed behind to clean up the battlefield, Bloody Queen Red enjoyed her master's love very sweetly. Her face was red as she lay in his embrace, allowing him to carry her out of the evil dragon lair. It wasn't that she had lost her ability to fly, but it was like a human girl acting coquettishly. Bloody Queen Red didn't know how her actions would improve her emotional growth. She didn't want to think about anything now. She was just enjoying her master's embrace. She only knew that she liked this feeling. When Yu Yang flew out of the evil dragon lair, Qilin Girl and Little One Li were already waiting outside. According to the original plan, the two of them were in charge of intercepting and killing the Scarlet Emperor. Yu Yang felt that he might not be able to kill the Scarlet Emperor, so he left them outside, just in case. Seeing Yu Yang, Qilin Girl said apologetically, "The Scarlet Emperor was too cunning. He had a divine equipment protecting him, so I couldn't kill him. I could have killed the unconscious Scarlet Concubine, but she didn't have any attack power, so she wasn't a threat to me and Little Snake Demon. I couldn't do it, so I let her go." She casually kicked over a broken leg. It was obviously the Scarlet Emperor's leg. Yu Yang nodded and kept the broken leg in his platinum storage ring. Even if he couldn't kill the Scarlet Emperor, he had a divine equipment protecting him. Being able to chop off a leg was already an unexpected result for Yu Yang. If Qilin Girl killed the Scarlet Emperor, it would leave a regret in Yu Yang's heart. It would be a pity if he couldn't kill such a strong enemy with his own hands. As long as he could heavily injure the Scarlet Emperor, Yu Yang believed that he might be able to compete with the Scarlet Emperor in the future when he improved. Behind him, barbarian cow Shadow Man brought out the huge golden soul-absorbing clock. There were more than 10 pieces of the steel fort's fragments in the clock. If it wasn't for the fact that she couldn't stay any longer, she would probably pick up more fragments. As for the Golden Crown Thornyflower Queen, she had already eaten the corpse of the flame-spitting dragon and brought out the corpse of the scarlet dragon that was instantly killed by Yu Yang. The evil dragon lair completely collapsed. The mountain peak caved in and split into several pieces. 2 of the pieces caused debris and dust to fill the sky as they fell into the deep valley, giving off an earth-shattering sound. The echoes lingered in the air. It's a pity that there's still an ancient rune sealing circle buried under the rock. We must come here again when we have time to study it properly. I think that the ancient rune sealing circle is very valuable. After the battle, Yu Yang felt very tired and urgently needed to rest. In addition, he was worried that Shun Tian and the Black Prince would play a dirty trick. Since Qilin Girl hadn't gone back to sleep and Little One Li and the others were safe, he quickly returned to the Grimoire world with everyone to rest. Once he returned to the Grimoire world, Yu Yang didn't even have time to sort out all the spoils of war before he fell asleep in exhaustion. This was the safest home. Yu Yang was extremely relaxed. Qilin Girl smiled, turned into a colorful light and disappeared. Little One Li, who was exhausted from the battle, also returned to Yu Yang's body to rest. Most importantly, she could kill 2 birds with 1 stone and help Yu Yang recover faster. Sickly Beauty saw the remaining tear stains on Bloody Queen Red's face and seemed to understand something. She nodded slightly and smiled warmly. She said softly, "His body is very dirty. I need to get some water for him to wash his face and wipe his body. You should come and help." Bloody Queen Red was slightly startled when she heard this. She immediately lowered her head and replied in a mosquito-like voice, "Okay." Chapter 419. When Yu Yang woke up, he immediately teleported back to Bo Nan Ancient Town. In the Warrior Guild's Hall of Honor, Yu Yang sent a secret message to more than 10 people. Ji Zun, Knight Empress, Impatience, Mr. Nangong, Ascetic Practice Saint, Jun Wu Yu and Elder Yu Hai all sent a warning. In the secret message, Yu Yang said that the Scarlet Emperor had escaped from the ancient seal 6,000 years ago. Although he was heavily injured, he would recover soon according to the Scarlet Emperor's strength. This Scarlet Emperor, whose strength was at least heaven-ranked level 6, was an extremely scheming war maniac. If the Scarlet Emperor were to recover from his injuries and return, he would definitely destroy the original order of Tong Tian Tower. All the warriors who went against his will would be ruthlessly wiped out by him, so everyone had to be prepared for the worst. As for how to fight against the Scarlet Emperor, Yu Yang didn't have a better idea at the moment. He would let Mr. Nangong and the rest worry about it. Whatever Yu Yang could do, he had already done it. The only hope now was that Ji Zun could fight against the Scarlet Emperor. If she could fight evenly with the Scarlet Emperor, then the Scarlet Emperor wouldn't be able to be arrogant anymore. Of course, this wish was a little difficult to achieve. Because Yu Yang knew that other than the Prison Emperor, the Scarlet Emperor was an invincible person 6,000 years ago. He was so powerful that he could sweep through the heaven realm. The Scarlet Emperor might not be as terrifying as Ming Yu Guang, Su Kong and Jiu Shao, the 3 great leaders of the heaven realm, but he might be in existence close to that level. Under the full suppression of the Prison Emperor, the Scarlet Emperor could still live freely. Just this point alone was enough to prove how powerful he was. Ji Zun was undoubtedly powerful, but compared to the Scarlet Emperor, she was still too young. Moreover, only Ji Zun herself knew what realm she had reached. Other than the Scarlet Concubine, the Scarlet Emperor also has at least one divine weapon, Guardian Divine Shield. Other than that, he has countless other treasures. The Scarlet Emperor is an expert in shooting out energy beams in an instant. His eyes are also extremely powerful. Unknown beasts. After the ambush, Shun Tian, the Black Prince, and even more innates might lean towards the Scarlet Emperor, because the Scarlet Emperor knows how to enter the heaven realm. That's a temptation they can't resist. In everyone's letters, Yu Yang described the Scarlet Emperor's strength, treasures and the current situation they were facing in detail. In the letter he sent to Jun Wu Yu and Elder Yu Hai, he gave them the biggest warning. The Scarlet Emperor is the same as the Prison Emperor, they are both rankers of the Soaring Dragon continent. The first place he returns to would definitely be the Soaring Dragon continent. Because of me, Xia and the Yu clan will be the first target of the Scarlet Emperor's massacre. In the next 3 months, I suggest that the younger generation should all leave the public sight and find the safest place to hide. Only when the war with the Scarlet Emperor is over can they return home. Yu Yang had even sent a letter to Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others, telling them to return to the Soaring Dragon continent immediately and disappear from the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. It was highly possible that Shun Tian and the Black Prince would take action in advance and capture Fatty Hai and the others as hostages. People like them didn't even need to appear personally. With just a command, countless corrupted warriors would surround and capture Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others. In the Warriors Guild, the receptionist looked at Yu Yang with his mouth agape. Sending a top-secret letter required 1,000 gold coins. This person had sent more than 10 of them in a row. This kind of extravagant behavior was really the epitome of squandering money. If there's nothing particularly important, sending a normal letter is the same. It's equally safe, just that the method of sending a top-secret letter has to be more secretive. Before the receptionist could finish speaking, Yu Yang had already piled more than 10,000 gold coins on the counter. He then told him solemnly, "These letters are all very important. They are related to thousands of lives. They must be sent in top secret. Understood. The receptionist was shocked by Yu Yang's serious tone. He nodded his head solemnly, indicating that he would send the message in top secret according to the request. Leaving the Warriors' Guild Hall of Honor, Yu Yang randomly teleported to an unfamiliar area that he had never been to before. After confirming that no one was following him, he returned to the grimoire world. The sickly beauty was currently teaching the little girl Yu Shuang. She was very strict in class and forbade her students from being distracted. At first, Yu Shuang was not used to it. She tried her best to act coquettishly to her brother, but reality proved that her brother was not omnipotent. After being punished a few times, Yu Shuang became smarter. She knew that her brother could not protect her. She had already gotten used to listening attentively in class. Normally, when she saw Yu Yang return, she would only blink her eyes. Yu Yang did not expect that sickly beauty could make the naughty little girl obedient, but this was a good thing. He could not spoil the little girl too much. He needed someone to teach her strictly. After walking around, he did not see Bloody Queen Red. How were her injuries? Yu Yang remembered that this girl's injuries were quite serious. There was a bloody hole in her chest. Yu Yang walked around and did not see her. He guessed that she was resting in the cloud castle in the sky. Yu Yang, who usually did not go up, made an exception and went up to see her. Bloody Queen Red was sighing. The reason was that the injury on her chest was not healing as fast as before. That kind of resentful blood arrow was accumulating in her body. No matter how hard she tried, she could not get rid of it. It was fine if her body was in pain, but how could she face others like this? She remembered the scene when her master and the mistress were having sex. Her master especially liked to kiss and caress the mistress's breast. He probably liked a woman's perfect body. Looking at the bloody hole in her chest that could not heal, she guessed that her master would not like it if he saw it. Bloody Queen Red took off her armor and looked at the wound on her chest. She then looked at the clothes that the mistress gave her and sighed. If she was not injured, she could wear this set of clothes. It was rare for the mistress to give her a set of beautiful clothes. Yu Yang entered the cloud castle and found that the Bloody Queen Red had decorated the place well. It was quite unique. Although it could not be compared to the Golden Crown Thornyflower Queen's garden-like bedroom, it was much better than the Barbarian Cow Shadow's simple and crude residence. He thought that the Bloody Queen Red was resting and knocked on the door, indicating that he wanted to enter. When he opened the door, he saw that the girl was topless and holding a piece of clothing in her hand. She looked at him with a red face and was at a loss of what to do. "Don't you know how to wear new clothes?" Yu Yang was also a little embarrassed, but his reaction was extremely fast. He didn't close the door, instead, he walked in gracefully. He took out the new clothes that the sickly beauty had given to the Bloody Queen and gently draped them over her body, pretending that he didn't mind at all. The Bloody Queen Red was embarrassed and embarrassed. As for facing her master while naked, it was not because she was shy, but because there was an ugly wound on her chest, which made her feel inferior and sad. She hurriedly covered the wound with her hands, hoping that her master would not notice it. When Yu Yang put the clothes on her, she lowered her head and did not dare to look at his eyes. The Bloody Queen Red was very excited that her master came to visit her. However, she hated that she had not recovered from her injuries and let him see her ugly side. Yu Yang hugged her lightly and caressed the Bloody Queen Red's head with his big hands. Ever since she contracted with him, the Bloody Queen Red would change her appearance every time she leveled up. Not only did she become stronger, her body became more and more perfect. The most important thing was that her intelligence was awakened and she became more and more human-like. Compared to the Golden Crown Thornyflower Queen and the Barbarian Cow Shadow, the Bloody Queen Red might not be stronger in terms of combat power. However, in terms of humanization, she was much better than the two of them. Sometimes, Yu Yang would forget that she was a beast. Instead, he treated her as a real girl. Although she had independent thoughts, The Bloody Queen Red had always acted according to her own highest standard. When her life was in danger, she would disregard her own safety and stand in front of him at the first moment. Of course, every guardian beast would do this. However, when he remembered that she did not hesitate to use her body to block a fatal blow for him, Yu Yang was still touched. "Does the wound hurt?" Yu Yang's hand slid down her hair and caressed the Bloody Queen Red's back, as he asked softly. The Bloody Queen Red shook her head with all her might, afraid that her master would know that the wound was actually very painful. "Let go, let me take a look." Yu Yang was also a little curious. Why couldn't the wound heal after being hit by a mouthful of blood? The recovery ability of a guardian beast was the best among all other beasts. The barbarian cow Shadow Man used to be injured by her enemies, pierced through her body, or even cut in half, but she would recover completely within a day. The Bloody Queen Red was almost the same. To a guardian beast, physical injuries were very light. Only extremely serious internal injuries would make them weak for a period of time. The Bloody Queen Red still shook her head. However, under Yu Yang's insistence, she slowly let go of the hand that was covering her wound. Yu Yang tried his best not to pay attention to her snow-white and firm treasure. Instead, he used his Heaven Eyes divine vision to observe her injuries. The Bloody Queen Red's face was burning. She felt that her body, under her master's gaze, was gradually heating up, bringing with it an unnatural stiffening. The skin on her chest had become especially sensitive. Even when her master breathed calmly, she could easily feel the changes in the heat brought by his breath. Her master's breath was smoky, giving her an indescribable strange feeling. The two most sensitive little buds on her chest had actually started to harden, bringing with it a little pain. There was an indescribable feeling of sadness. The Bloody Queen Red suddenly understood why the mistress liked to be caressed by her master. The reason was that her body seemed to have an indescribable desire towards her master's big hands. Could it be that her body was like the mistress, yearning for her master's love? Thinking about this, the Bloody Queen Red's heart beat even faster. Her heart was filled with a kind of embarrassment. It seemed like she was excited, happy, nervous, and longing. It was extremely complicated and indescribable. However, the Bloody Queen Red could be sure of one thing, and that was that there was an indescribable sweetness in her heart. It was like drinking sweet dew when one was thirsty in summer. It was hard to describe. It was as wonderful as the feeling when her master carried her while they were flying. On this side, the Bloody Queen was so embarrassed that she turned her face away, not daring to look at her master. On the other hand, Yu Yang, who was standing opposite her, let out a sound of surprise as he realized something. Nirvana's flame appeared on his palm as he prepared to help the Bloody Queen purify the invading energy. The Bloody Queen's heartbeat instantly sped up by 100 times. Her master was about to reach out to her. This was very similar to the prelude to him having fun with his mistress. Of course, she also knew that this was to heal her, but she still couldn't help but let her imagination run wild. When Yu Yang's hand was about to touch the Bloody Queen's skin, he stopped. The Bloody Queen was extremely nervous. Even her sensitive skin could feel the heat of that hand. The desire in her heart grew stronger, and she couldn't wait to press her master's big hand tightly on it. However, her shyness prevented her from doing so. She half closed her eyes. She wanted to look, but she was also embarrassed. She felt very conflicted. Heart rate 200. Yu Yang muttered to himself for a while, and suddenly retracted his Nirvana's flame. He felt that there was a new type of new flame in his body. The energy of this new flame had a special connection with the blood arrow in the Bloody Queen's chest. If he used this new flame to heal her, he might be able to achieve a better result. There was no doubt that the Nirvana's flame could purify everything. However, Yu Yang suddenly wanted to try it. Maybe he could try out a new technique in some special circumstances. This new flame was created by Yu Yang when he lost his mind and went berserk. Yu Yang was very puzzled. Did he have this kind of ability? But this was the truth. When Yu Yang started to condense the new flame, his palm gradually turned purple gold in color. Petal by petal, extremely tiny flames emerged. They danced in the sky. Once they came into contact with each other, they would fuse into an even bigger entity. It didn't look like a flame at all, but more like purple gold lotus petals. Yu Yang condensed these lotus petals with his Yang ability. In the end, they actually automatically formed a purple gold fire lotus. What surprised Yu Yang the most was that this purple gold fire lotus had a kind of angry deterrent power. The bigger it was, the more powerful it was. When the purple gold fire lotus turned into an 18-petal lotus platform, Yu Yang felt that the whole sky was filled with angry power. It was as if he could make the heaven and earth tremble with just a raise of his hand. Fire energy that had spiritual pressure, this was really a magical flame. Yu Yang tried several variations and found that it was very mysterious. In the future, it would have a lot of research value. Maybe it could continue to be improved. He really didn't know how he created it when he was in berserk state, and also didn't know how many kinds of power it contained. However, there was one thing that Yu Yang could be sure of. This purple gold fire lotus definitely contained the energy of the scarlet concubine's red lotus fire. Moreover, its quality, power and spirit were many times better than the red lotus fire. This new flame, let's call it Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus. Yu Yang temporarily didn't have the time to explore how he created a new flame in berserk state. The first thing he did was to try to control this Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus to heal the Bloody Queen's injuries. His hand gently pressed on the Bloody Queen's perky breast. The Bloody Queen's body trembled, even her fingers were trembling. She wasn't in pain, but in comfort. Even though she had previously peeked at her master and mistress having fun, and seen the mistress's happy expression under her master's caress, she never thought that the feeling would be like this. She closed her eyes tightly, resisting the pleasure in her body and the moans that almost surged to her throat. Countless petals of the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus, under Yu Yang's control, entered the wound. Almost in an instant, the scarlet concubine's angry blood arrow was expelled out. This blood arrow was like a spirit snake. It had a special will. It contained a crazy killing intent, resentment and despair of destruction. The energy was extremely violent, yet it was tightly integrated into one. If it wasn't for the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus's willpower far surpassing the blood arrow, it wouldn't have been so easy to expel it. Yu Yang grabbed it with one hand. He originally wanted to destroy it, but before that, he had an idea to use the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus to fuse and refine it. He didn't know if it would succeed, but it was an attempt that brought luck to his soul. The Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus carried the rage of Yu Yang's berserk state. The blood arrow, on the other hand, carried the scarlet concubine's resentment. Once the two were fused and refined, the energy would collide, emitting an infinite power. There was no shockwave, but this kind of anger and engulfment was even more terrifying. It could completely scare people with weak willpower to death. The Bloody Queen was also forced to escape by these two types of angry willpower, but she couldn't bear to leave her master. She bravely opened her arms and tightly hugged her master with her naked body. As long as she hid in her master's embrace, she wouldn't be afraid of anything and wouldn't have to care about anything. Yu Yang also knew that this girl was affected. He used one hand to protect her back and channeled his innate qi to help her resist the spiritual impact of the anger. After 10 minutes of fusing and refining, when he was almost done, Yu Yang lightly kissed the Bloody Queen's forehead and said softly, "In order to reward you, I will reward you with a treasure. Quickly summon the Flame Whip." The Flame Whip was the Bloody Queen's skill. It was a special reward when she leveled up to gold-ranked level 4. After the Bloody Queen conjured the Flame Whip according to his instructions, Yu Yang once again fused the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus and the Blood Arrow into the Flame Whip. This was another bold attempt. The possibility of failure was extremely high. However, the delightful thing was that Yu Yang succeeded. He spent a lot of effort and consumed a lot of innate qi. It wasn't easy for him to combine the 3 different types of fire abilities into a new flame whip. After the success of this flame whip, its power not only shocked the Bloody Queen, even Yu Yang was surprised. This was because its power was extremely strong. Combining Yu Yang's berserk rage, Scarlet Concubine's despair, and the Flame Whip's original pain power, the power produced when the 3 of them were perfectly combined would definitely shock all living creatures. The attack of the new Flame Whip was definitely unbearable pain. Not only did it have the power of the Heaven's Wrath Fire Lotus and the Scarlet Lotus Fire, it also had the anger and resentment of berserk, despair and resentment. In addition to the original pain of the whip, if one were to use levels to describe it, this newly born Flame Whip would at least have the power of a platinum rank. The Flame Whip was a skill that the Bloody Queen and Yu Yang shared. After the new Flame Whip was reconstructed, this shared skill did not change. Yu Yang was very happy with the new Flame Whip's reconstruction and its effectiveness. In the end, he even named the new Flame Whip Whip of Agony. In the future, when the Bloody Queen used this pain whip to whip her enemies, she would definitely feel so good that her enemies would pee in their pants and call her queen. The Bloody Queen was very excited. She wanted to hug her master and fly around in the sky to vent the joy in her heart. But she didn't dare to do so. She clenched her small fists and suppressed it with all her might, because her master was still moving. Yu Yang saw that the wound on her chest had not healed yet, so he used his palm to gently press on it and used his innate qi to gently heal her wound. He only stopped when he saw that her body was completely smooth and flawless again. "It's okay now." Yu Yang smiled at the Bloody Queen. This time, he was really tired. His forehead was full of sweat, but he felt a sense of accomplishment. Looking at her master's slightly tired face, looking at his bright smile, the Bloody Queen felt her eyes getting hot and tears flowing out of her eyes. She couldn't help but press her master's hand tightly on her breast. Suddenly, she opened her arms and hugged her master tightly in her arms. Her cherry lips were excited and clumsy as she kissed her master. It was as if this was the only way to express how touched she was. Chapter 420. Ever since she took the initiative to kiss her master, Bloody Queen Red had changed a lot. She no longer stayed in the cloud castle high up in the sky. Instead, she flew down to help the sickly beauty. No matter what she did, she would be excited. Even when the sickly beauty was studying the heaven runes, she would take care of Yu Shuang. Sickly beauty seemed to have expected this. She smiled gently and ordered Bloody Queen Red to do all kinds of daily chores. Bloody Queen Red was so happy that she kept herself busy. When Yu Yang saw this, he couldn't help but laugh. He went to sleep peacefully and entered the dream world to fight with the big Loli, digesting the experience he gained from the Scarlet Emperor's attack. The big Loli could completely imitate the Scarlet Emperor, Scarlet Concubine, Shun Tian and the Black Prince's pincer attack. Yu Yang let her beat up the fallen flowers, but after a few rounds of fighting, Yu Yang was excited to find that he could gradually adapt to this terrifying battle rhythm. If he met Shun Tian and the Black Prince again, he wouldn't be as embarrassed as before. Of course, it was hard to say for the Scarlet Emperor and Scarlet Concubine, because once these two recovered to the level of heaven rankers, other than Ji Zun, no one in Tong Tian Tower would be able to defeat them. Fortunately, Yu Yang's second attack heavily injured the Scarlet Emperor and Scarlet Concubine. In addition, Little Wen Li and the Qilin girl intercepted them from behind and almost succeeded. The Scarlet Emperor was in a critical state. Even if he escaped, the Scarlet Emperor and Scarlet Concubine would not be able to recover to their peak state in less than a year. Shun Tian, the Black Prince, the Thousand Goblins sect leader, the Prison Emperor Divine General, the Demon King Ha Xin, the Great Demon King Baruth, one of the 3 great leaders of Heaven Realm, Void, one of the 3 great leaders of Heaven Realm, Jiu Shao. Yu Yang had countless enemies. As the saying goes, the body doesn't itch when there are too many fleas. Yu Yang felt that it made sense. He had already provoked so many enemies. The Scarlet Emperor and Scarlet Concubine didn't matter, while Yu Yang was peacefully training. 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, Bao Er, Anna, Lin En and the others had just returned from their training. They were happily sitting in the Brave Tavern. The entire team was here. Some of them were drinking, some of them were counting gold coins, some of them were flirting with the tavern girls. These few days, Fatty Hai and the others were very satisfied. This was because after coming out from the Five Elements Palace, everyone's overall strength had increased to a certain extent. At the very least, their courage and insight had improved. Compared to the cruel environment of the Five Elements Palace, other places, even the red danger warning areas, were not as difficult as before. The subsequent adventures succeeded one after another, which boosted their morale. May I ask if you two are Mr. Yi Kong and Mr. Haidafu? A top-secret messenger from the Warrior Guild took out the tracking map and confirmed it repeatedly. In the end, he walked in front of Fatty Hai and asked, "It's me. What's the matter? Do you want to spar with me?" Fatty Hai thought that this person was from the Assassin Guild and wanted to pick a fight with him. Being picked on by others, fighting, acting cool, exploding forth, beating up the other party. Fatty Hai really liked this kind of life. Usually, after a fight, he would arrogantly tell his opponent, "Do I have to tell you that I have a bronze-ranked level 2 Iron Rhinoceros? I'm very low-key." In the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, with his strength, although he was far from being able to run amok, he was more than enough to fight against mercenaries. In reality, with Yu Yang's special guidance and large amounts of high-level magic crystals, Fatty Hai's Iron Rhinoceros was no longer the useless beast it used to be. It had long evolved from a bronze-ranked level 2 Iron Rhinoceros to a silver-ranked level 4 Silver Horned Rhinoceros. Afterwards, with the help of Yu Yang's Beast Spirit Pill and Goblin Orb, it had evolved into a gold-ranked level 5 King Kong Rhinoceros. Its future was limitless, and it was also very helpful to its master. Not to mention normal beasts, even the gold mammoth that contracted with Fatty Hai to protect its life would have to call it boss. The only regret was that the King Kong Rhinoceros did not look like a human at all. Along with the increase in strength, the King Kong Rhinoceros's weight also increased. Yi Kong had teased that even if the King Kong Rhinoceros became a holy beast, it would still be a flowery beauty. With the King Kong Rhinoceros and Gold Mammoth, as well as a smart hippopotamus and an even smarter wind breath seabird, it would be hard for Fatty Hai not to be proud. Although he had only reached the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower for a short period of time, he had already defeated many foreign experts. Fatty Hai had already obtained the nickname Extremely Cheap Fat Demon at the entrance of Tong Tian Tower. He had set the record for the fastest person to obtain a nickname after entering the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. It was just that this high-quality nickname made people sweat profusely. There is a Mr. Shui Dong Lu who sent a letter to the two of you using a top-secret method. The two of you must prove your true identity to me, including the pass that the introducer had signed. Otherwise, I have the right to refuse to grant you the credit. This messenger, whose entire body was wrapped in a strange fog, only revealed his eyes. He warned Fatty Hai very seriously and solemnly not to throw a fit, or else there would be no negotiation. When Fatty Hai heard this, he immediately withered. He quickly pretended to be a grandson and smiled. "I'm sorry, I drank too much. Shui Dong Lu is my teacher. He must have something important to say. This is my bronze card, and damn monkey, hurry up. Alright, our cards are all here, please verify it. That's right, yes, I am Haidafu. He is Yi Kong." The thick smoke in the messenger's hand dissipated, and he passed an item to Fatty Hai. It was a top-secret letter. Strangely, there was a transparent box on the outside of this top-secret letter. There was a runic circle on the outside of the box. This was the Warrior Guild's top-secret letter protection box. It was said that even innate rancors could not destroy it. Furthermore, if anyone tried to destroy the box, it would alert the Warrior Guild. The Warrior Guild would not hesitate to retrieve the letter at all costs. Although 1,000 gold was very expensive, the degree of secrecy was definitely not something that any thief could think of. Are you sure you have the ability to receive and protect this letter? The messenger asked. Yes, I am. Fatty High quickly patted his chest. Are you sure the surroundings are safe? The messenger asked again. I think it's safe. Fatty High looked around the tavern. Other than a few drunkards and the tavern girls, the rest were all his people. May I ask if you have a teleportation stone or a teleportation scroll with you to leave this place at any time? The messenger asked again. Yes. Fatty High quickly took out the teleportation stone and showed it to the messenger. In the end, the messenger only let go of Fatty High's hand after confirming that he had the ability to receive the letter. Then, he quickly left. Everyone was puzzled by the messenger's serious behavior. What was going on? To make Yu Yang send such a top-secret letter, what was written in the letter? Everyone gathered around, wanting to read it, but they all turned their heads away. They were extremely curious. Only Fatty High and Yi Kong gathered together to read it. This was because Shui Dong Lu's letter was for the two of them. After 10 seconds, everyone realized that Fatty High was sweating profusely. Yi Kong was also swallowing his saliva. He was so nervous that his throat was moving up and down. Not to mention the observant Anna and Lin En, even the carefree Fan Luan Tai and the muddle-headed Bao Er knew that something was wrong. Prince of Tian Luo and Xue Tan Lang looked at each other. They realized that something must have happened to the soaring dragon continent. Fatty High looked at everyone and forced a smile that was uglier than crying. He waved at Xue Tan Lang. Xue Tan Lang came over and snatched the letter. He was shocked when he saw it. Prince of Tian Luo quickly came over and glanced at it. He immediately clenched his fist. Fatty, what happened? The Oxhead leader Liao rarely spoke, but he was actually a good leader. He stood up and asked solemnly. Ha ha ha, it's nothing. It's just that my old sow has given birth. It's a little difficult to give birth, so I decided to go back and take a look. That's not a simple pig, it's my favorite old sow. Fatty High snatched the letter back and stuffed it into his mouth, swallowing it. When Lin En and Anna saw this, they knew that something was wrong. They couldn't even let everyone see the letter. This meant that the matter was very serious. It couldn't be that Fatty High's old sow was having a difficult birth. Is this true? Fan Luan Tai didn't believe it at all. Even an old sow was having a difficult birth using a top-secret letter? The status of pigs in the soaring dragon continent is really high. The 4 orc girls were very happy. They said enviously, even where we are, the pig clan status is very low. It must be a very rare treasure pig. I only said that there's a kind of treasure pig beast that can bring luck to people. Bao Er was inexperienced and was fooled by Fatty High's acting. It's very rare. We also decided to go back and see if we can help a little. Yi Kong coughed and nodded. Let's go. Xue Tan Lang immediately turned around and prepared to leave. I wonder if the soaring dragon continent's treasure pig can let us see it? I'm a healing-type warrior, maybe I can help. Anna asked tentatively. Because every continent has some kind of rule, we can't bring you to the soaring dragon continent without the permission of our teachers. Why don't we go back and ask them first? Take care everyone, we'll go back first. Maybe we can bring you to the soaring dragon continent to play soon. Prince Tian Luo was more tactful and explained last. Xue Tan Lang, Yi Kong, Fatty High and the Li brothers all flew out at lightning speed, rushing towards the teleportation circle in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. The Oxhead girl Fan Luan Tai roared, her voice was deafening. Stop, all of you stop. Lin En, who had always been good-tempered, was also completely angry. He stared at Prince Tian Luo's eyes. Although we haven't known each other for long, we've gone through thick and thin together. We can be said to be brothers of life and death. In the battle, you've saved our lives many times. Do you think that we'll let you face the problem alone? Tell us the problem, we'll solve it together. Anna also nodded. I don't know what your teacher told you, but this is definitely not the best solution. We're friends, comrades in the same team. We have the right to know the truth, even if it's just a sentence. Prince Tianluo took a deep breath and looked at everyone. He said something that shocked everyone. From today onwards, we're no longer friends. What? Oxhead Party leader Liu angrily grabbed Prince Tianluo's collar and glared at him. What did you say just now? Stop talking nonsense, let's go. Yi Kong's stern voice came from afar. Prince Tianluo's body shook slightly. He immediately broke free from party leader Liu's big hand and flew away. The Oxhead girl Fan Luantai's eyes were scarlet red. She roared like thunder and directly broke through the walls of the tavern, rushing out with a rumbling sound. She reached out her big hand, wanting to grab Yi Kong. However, Yi Kong jumped up and avoided her grasp. Fan Luantai was furious and grabbed Fatty Hai. If you don't explain clearly, you're not allowed to leave. Fatty Hai sent the Oxhead girl Fan Luantai flying with a punch and said coldly, Crazy woman, I don't even know you. Xue Tan Lang, who was the fastest, had already teleported away. The Li brothers also rushed to the teleportation circle and were teleporting. Are you really going to leave just like that? Trust us, no matter what, just say the word. Lin En moved in a flash and stopped Yi Kong and Fatty Hai in front of the teleportation circle. The team formation is over, these are the things that you deserve. Yi Kong scattered all the magic crystals and gold coins in his arms on the ground. Then, he and Fatty Hai walked past Lin En expressionlessly. Lin En's eyes widened. He clenched his fists and resisted the urge to move, allowing Yi Kong and Fatty Hai to leave. What an idiot! Why didn't you stop them? Without their guidance, we can't go to the soaring dragon continent. Fan Luantai, who was bleeding from the corner of her mouth, roared at Lin En angrily. If they want to leave, we can't stop them. Lin En sighed slightly. Bao Er was already crying a mess, her little face was wet with tears. Even Anna couldn't help but shed 2 lines of tears. The companions who were laughing and chatting just a moment ago suddenly left so coldly and heartlessly. What exactly happened in between? What did Yi Kong and Fatty Hai's teacher Shui Dong Lu say to them? Although they had not read the letter, she and Lin En could roughly guess based on the abnormal reactions of Fatty Hai and the others just now. The reason why Fatty Hai and Yi Kong left so heartlessly was not because they had really severed ties with them, but because they did not want to implicate everyone. Something must have happened to the soaring dragon continent for them to be so nervous and leave in such a hurry without a word of explanation. Moreover, it must be something big. Bastard, I hate this kind of people the most. Cowards, 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 how dare they abandon their teammates? Do you think that this is heroic? I think you are all idiots. I hate stupid and self-righteous fellows like you. Fan Luantai scolded, but as she scolded, she also shed 2 huge tears. What do we do now? The Oxhead Party leader Li Ao looked at Lin En. Although he was the leader, he still depended on Anna and Lin En's decision when it came to important moments. Lin En and Anna looked at each other, lowered their heads and thought for a long time. After a long time, they finally made a decision. Let's go to the warrior guild first and find out what happened. When they arrived at the warrior guild, before they could even speak, the middle-aged warrior O Zhen shouted at them anxiously. Where are Fatty Hai and Yi Kong in your team? Little Titan sent them a top-secret letter and is waiting for them to sign it. The messenger couldn't find them anywhere. Anna, Lin En and the others were shocked. 2 top-secret letters? The Titan also sent them top-secret letters? A person came out from the room. It was Elder Ma. His face darkened. It's 3 letters. The Emperor of the Xia Kingdom in the Soaring Dragon Continent, Jun Wu Yu also sent top-secret letters. Chapter 421. Apart from the addressee, no one, not even close friends or siblings, was allowed to receive top-secret letters. Lin En and the rest did not know the contents nor the truth. They had no choice but to find a place to stay near the warrior guild. They hoped to intercept Yu Yang at the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower's teleportation circle and find out what had happened to the soaring dragon continent. The Oxhead Fan Luantai suggested if they should send a letter to Yu Yang, but Anna rejected the idea after thinking for a while. Lin En and Li Ao also thought that since teacher Shui Dong Lu asked Fatty Hai and Yi Kong to leave the team, he did not want them to be a burden to his teammate. It would be the same if they sent a letter to Yu Yang. They felt that it would be better to intercept Yu Yang personally and ask him the truth. While they were still discussing, O Zhen and Elder Ma Tai came again. They brought a shocking news to Lin En and the rest. The Black Hell King had officially declared war on the Dixia Kingdom of the Soaring Dragon Continent. All the warriors and allies of the Dixia Kingdom would be killed by the Black Hell Army. Who is the Black Hell King? Bao Er, who had just entered the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, did not know the Black Hell King at all. He is a fallen innate from 6,000 years ago. He was originally called the Prison Emperor Divine General. His strength is terrifying and should not be lower than innate level 10. He has many subordinates, and it can be said that he has many strong people under him. He has a Black Hell army that is completely made up of fallen warriors. There are 4 fallen innates that are above innate level 7. O Zhen's expression was extremely serious. Ah, isn't Titan in danger? The Oxhead Fan Luantai was shocked. Let's send a top-secret letter quickly and ask Brother Titan to leave the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Bao Er panicked and quickly pulled Anna's hand to let her make a decision. The one who should leave the 6th floor is not him, but you guys. Children, the war has arrived. Return to your original place of residence. The 6th floor is no longer safe. I understand your friendship, but the most rational thing to do now is to return to a safe place. This is the best for both you and them. The Black Hell Army is very strong. Without a strong innate to protect you guys, it will be very dangerous. Fan Luantai and the 4 orc girls couldn't take it anymore and jumped up. Liao and Lin En also shook their heads slightly. The current situation was as Grand Elder Matthew had said. However, it was impossible for them to immediately return to their residences. Yu Yang was completely unaware of the Black Hell King's declaration of war against the Dixia Kingdom. He came out of the Grimoire world and teleported back. His plan was to go to the 3rd floor of Tong Tian Tower and search for the secret of the place where the Bloody Queen's mother had ascended. Although the Scarlet Emperor was a huge threat, Yu Yang estimated that the Scarlet Emperor would not recover from his injuries for at least half a year. When he returned to the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower's teleportation gate, he saw Lin En, Anna and the others waiting in the teleportation gate from afar. He could not help but be a little stunned. What was going on? Bao Er's reaction was the fastest. She had already rushed forward while crying. What are you still doing here? Go back now. The Oxhead Fan Luantai rushed forward. We want to go too and beat up that bastard Black Hell King. Black Hell King? Yu Yang sweated. What does this have to do with the Black Hell King? It's like this, the Black Hell King has officially declared war on the Dixia Kingdom. When Lin En said this, Yu Yang was stunned. Declaration of war? Did this guy take the wrong medicine? Don't you know? Anna was also shocked. If Yu Yang didn't know about the Black Hell King, then why did he send a top-secret letter to Fatty Hai and Yi Kong? Bao Er was afraid that Yu Yang would leave immediately. She quickly used the octopus entanglement spell and grabbed his arm. Bring us to the Soaring Dragon Continent, we want to help too. Even if we are weak, if we work together, we will definitely be able to defeat the invaders. Don't cause trouble, little friend, it's none of your business. Yu Yang shook his arm twice, but still couldn't get rid of the golden elf Loli's entanglement. Our strength is indeed weak, but we are friends and comrades. If you think that we are not trash, but comrades who can fight side by side, then bring us to the soaring dragon continent. If our elven forest is invaded by enemies, you will also help us resist the invasion. On the other hand, how can we just stand by and watch? Let's go, we are already prepared. Lin En stared at Yu Yang with a firm attitude. The Oxhead party leader Li Ao, the Oxhead girl Fan Luan Tai, and the 4 orc girls also had the same expression. Everyone, don't be anxious. Wait for me to return to the soaring dragon continent to understand what is going on. If we really can't defeat them, we might have to hide at your place. Yu Yang laughed. No, let's go together. If there's a problem, we will solve it together. Not to mention Anna, even Bao knew that Yu Yang was a big liar and couldn't be trusted. Alright, then let's go. Yu Yang's reply made everyone heave a sigh of relief. Luckily, they had finally caught this brat. When they reached the teleportation circle, Yu Yang paid the teleportation fee. Just when everyone was looking forward to going to the soaring dragon continent, the teleportation officer suddenly raised his hand. The crystal pillar in the giant teleportation circle shone with a dazzling light, but only Yu Yang was teleported away. Everyone was stunned. What was going on? Before Lin En and the others could argue, the teleportation officer returned the remaining money. He said that the extra money is my tip. However, I feel that I should return the money to you. I'm very sorry for not teleporting all of you together. However, since the warriors from the other continent did not choose to bring their companions, I will not teleport all of you. Even if I teleport, it will not be successful. Only then did everyone know that they had been tricked by Yu Yang. He did not have the intention to bring everyone to the soaring dragon continent to fight against the enemy. After teleporting all the way, Yu Yang left Tong Tian Tower. He teleported to the Yu clan castle immediately. Elder Yu Hai and Jun Wu Yu were there. Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others went with the old cunning fox to pick up the death class students who had gone out to adventure. Where is the Black Hell King's Black Hell Army now? Elder Yu Hai and Jun Wu Yu immediately laughed out loud when they heard Yu Yang's words. Jun Wu Yu clapped his hands happily. I thought this brat was an abnormal all-rounder, who knew that he was just a rookie in military affairs. Luckily, if he could even understand this, then old bones like us should really retire. That's right, the Black Hell Army is going to attack, but you don't have to worry, they won't be here for a while. Elder Yu Hai became unusually energetic, just like a great general who was about to go to war. His eyes were burning with battle intent, like a sword that was half drawn and about to be unsheathed. A killing intent that was used to the battlefield pressured the surroundings. Even though he knew that the enemy was the Black Hell Army, this old marshal who had fought against the demon Abyss Demon Army for many years was not afraid. Furthermore, there was an indescribable fighting spirit. The Black Hell Army is not necessarily made up of people from the soaring dragon continent. If they want to enter our world, they have to use the power of a sacrifice to open a teleportation door and then teleport in through the ancient passage. If they want to attack our Disya kingdom, it is impossible for them to just send a few innate rankers. The battle should be carried out in 3 ways. One is innates against innates, the other is soldiers against soldiers, and the last is to support some forces in the soaring dragon continent to become stronger. For example, the Zijin kingdom, although they did not openly declare war on us, they have already formed a close alliance with the Black Hell Army. If not for their sacrifice day and night, how would the Black Hell Army be able to come to the soaring dragon continent smoothly? What we are most worried about now is that the Black Hell Army will hunt down a large number of our people in Tong Tian Tower. Because they have already declared war, the treaty will no longer protect us. Especially you, we are most worried. As for the Scarlet Emperor, we have already received your letter, so we can't care too much about it for now. If there is really no other way, you can bring Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the other students far away. Wait until your strength has risen, then think of a way to revive Xia. Jun Wu Yu smiled indifferently. He gestured for Yu Yang to sit down. His expression was calm and composed. There was no trace of anxiety or anger on his face, nor was there any trace of nervousness or abnormality. It was as if this kind of invading war that could wipe out a country was a common occurrence to him. Can we really not win? Yu Yang was a little unresigned. Damn it, at most he would just fight with the Black Hell King. It will be difficult. Elder Yu Hai shook his head. Although we have the Tian Luo Kingdom as an alliance, the two armies are only slightly stronger than the Zijin Kingdom. Once the war starts, there will definitely be many betrayals from the city lords of Xia and Tian Luo Kingdom. Horse bandits, desert bandits, and various mercenary groups will all gradually lean towards the Zijin Kingdom, who has the support of the Black Hell Army. Other than the powers of the Soaring Dragon Continent, our bigger opponents are the Black Hell Army and the Demon Abyss's Demon Army. There are simply too many of them. As long as our innate rankers are unable to suppress them, we will completely collapse. Now that the other party has the Black Hell King as their spiritual pillar, and the support of the entire Lion Pagoda sect, and the secret help of the Demon Abyss Army, Zijin Kingdom will definitely flatten Xia at all costs. For safety reasons, we have decided to only accept the secret help from the Tian Luo Kingdom. We do not wish for Tian Luo Kingdom to declare war on Zijin Kingdom. Even if we lose, the students will have a safe place to go. How long can it be safe to go to Tian Luo? Yu Yang did not have much hope. When the nest is destroyed, how can the eggs be unharmed? Tian Luo can hide for a while, but how can they be safe in the end? At least Tian Luo can hold on until the last moment. With the Night Empress, no matter how arrogant the Black Hell King is, he would not dare to offend her. Without 100% certainty, he would not dare to declare war on the Night Empress. Elder Yu Hai patted on Yu Yang's shoulder. Xia and Tian Luo are finished, and you guys too. This is nothing. Our ancestors also built the Xia Kingdom on the ruins of war. The loss of one city and one country is nothing. Is there any hope of victory in the end? Yu Yang also understood that the crux of this battle was not the number of soldiers, but the battle between the innate rankers. If they could take down the Black Hell King, then no matter how strong the Black Hell Army was, they would be utterly defeated. Yu Yang was a little annoyed that he did not have the strength to challenge the Black Hell King. If only he had a little more time, it would be great. If he had another year to cultivate, Yu Yang would feel much more confident. Of course, it did not mean that the Black Hell King could not fight. The Black Hell King must fight, but he did not dare to say that he would definitely win. After all, he was a powerful person from 6,000 years ago. Although he was not as powerful as the Scarlet Emperor, he was not too far off. Yu Yang guessed that the Black Hell King was most likely a heaven-ranked ranker. Jun Wu Yu and Elder Yu Hai looked at each other after hearing Yu Yang's words. Jun Wu Yu slowed down his tone and looked at Yu Yang. It is not that there is no way to win this battle, but only one person is willing to take action. You mean Ji Zun? Yu Yang immediately understood. Yes, as long as Ji Zun is willing to take action, the Black Hell King would definitely have a headache. I believe that even the Scarlet Emperor would have some misgivings. But the problem is that Ji Zun rarely interferes with the matters of the lower realm. She is wholeheartedly training, and now is the crucial time to explore Heaven Realm, so she might not return to the Soaring Dragon Continent. It is also because of this that the Black Hell King dared to declare war on us. We guessed that Ji Zun might have found something new when she was exploring Heaven Realm and was about to head there. That is why the Black Hell King is so arrogant. Jun Wu Yu's analysis was very reasonable. Yu Yang also thought the same. If that was really the case, then not only the Xia Kingdom of the Soaring Dragon Continent, but the entire Tong Tian Tower would be in chaos. Without Ji Zun, there would be no suppression from her. Those who could not wait to fight for the position of Ji Zun, such as Shun Tian, the Black Prince, the Thousand Goblins sect leader, the great demon King Baruth, and other super-innates, would definitely cause a bloodbath. Even Sky Execution, and she and the Dragon Emperor, who usually kept a low profile, would come out to compete. If Ji Zun was by his side, Yu Yang would definitely advise her to reconsider and not to head to Heaven Realm. Otherwise, Tong Tian Tower would become a mess. If only this mysterious big-breasted girl was as easy to talk to as Impatience. Yu Yang sighed in his heart. Impatience could still use some tricks, such as seduction. When it came to Ji Zun, he really had no idea. Most importantly, he couldn't use seduction now because Ji Zun had always been elusive. No one knew where she was. It seemed that the Black Hell King had chosen the right time to make trouble. This battle had to be fought. Now it was time to see when the battle would start and how far it would go. Go and do what you have to do. The Black Hell Army and Zijin Kingdom's army are still gathering. I estimate that they won't be here for at least half a month. Without 100% certainty, the Black Hell King will not act rashly. As for the matters of war, your grandfather will be here. It has nothing to do with you juniors. Junwu Yu even advised Yu Yang to go and do what he had to do. I really don't know much about war. I'll get some equipment. Yu Yang felt that he was qualified to be a logistics leader. With Mr. Chen's Thunder Beast and Thunder Armor, in addition to his own puppet beasts, even if they couldn't play a decisive role on the battlefield, it was still better than nothing. No matter how powerful the Black Hell King was, if he wanted to attack, he would have to peel off a layer of his skin. He definitely couldn't let him have a good time. Protect yourself, that's the most important thing. Elder Yu Hai held onto Yu Yang's shoulders. You don't have to worry about the matters of the family. There are no cowards in the Yu clan. Even if we all die in battle, we will die honorably. We will also have the face to meet our ancestors. Moreover, there are Yu Bing heir, Shuang heir and Feng heir among the juniors. The Yu clan will never perish, there will never be no more descendants. Grandpa was old. Dying with a bang was 100 times better than lying on the bed and waiting for death. This kind of battle was actually what Grandpa wished for. While he still had some strength left, he could still cut people down. It was the perfect time to have a good fight. Ah! Yu Yang was speechless. As expected of an old marshal who had climbed out from a pile of corpses, his mentality was really bold. Yu Yang was momentarily infected by Elder Yu Hai's heroic spirit. Although he didn't show it on the surface, his heart was actually surging with hot blood. Although this old man wasn't an innate, his personality and fighting spirit were really impressive. Yu Yang walked out silently. There was nothing for him to do at the moment, so he might as well find something to do. Who would be the most suitable target? He walked out of the Yu clan castle. He looked at the sky and suddenly made a decision. Chapter 422. Demon Palace. The great demon King Baruth and his most capable assistant, Demon Marshal Duran, were discussing the current situation. They had already received the news that the Black Hell King had declared war on the Xia Kingdom. Towards the Black Hell King, all the forces in the Demon Abyss did not have a good impression of him. It could be said that a large portion of the Black Hell Army's corrupted warriors came from the Demon Abyss. To the Demon Abyss, this was a blatant act of poaching. Even if these corrupted warriors didn't come from the great demon King Baruth's blood prison, he still couldn't tolerate it. However, the Black Hell King, the former prison Emperor Divine General, possessed great power. At the same time, this fellow also knew the secrets of the Heaven Realm. This made Baruth, Du Lan and the other Demon Abyss rankers have no choice but to wait for a better opportunity. They did not immediately clash with the Black Hell King. The Black Hell King's declaration of war against the Xia Kingdom was probably premeditated. It was very likely that Ji Zun had grasped the secret of ascending to the Heaven Realm, and she could leave at any time. The reason why the Black Hell King declared war on the Disya kingdom was to eradicate the hidden dangers in the soaring dragon continent. At the same time, he wanted to take over the inheritance left behind by the prison emperor 6,000 years ago. Most importantly, he wanted to take over the control of the gods' ruins. Everyone knew that the secrets of the ruined shrines were the highest pursuit of martial artists. All the innate experts suspected that the reason why Jizun was so powerful was because she had obtained the legendary martial soul in the Shrine of Ruins. The Shrine of Ruins in the soaring dragon continent had always been a place that innate rankers had to fight for. This place was also the source of communication between different continents and different spaces. Only through the ancient passage in the space of the ruined shrine could people enter the foreign land. Otherwise, people would have to follow the rules of Tong Tian Tower and enter under the guidance of warriors from other continents. The latter rule was impossible to invade. In other words, the ancient passage was the first bridge for the development and expansion of various forces. In order to stop the demon abyss from making a move, the Black Hell King sent a top-secret letter to Baruth and Dulan. He expressed that as long as the demon abyss did not interfere, he was willing to exchange the secret of entering the heaven realm. In addition, the Black Hell King expressed that after he officially joined the innate alliance, he would propose to legalize all the land that the demon abyss had occupied, and all the rights would belong to the demon abyss king. In short, the Black Hell King wanted to join hands. At the very least, he hoped that Baruth, Dulan and the other demon abyss rankers would not interfere with his plan to invade the soaring dragon continent. For this, he did not hesitate to give up the secret of Heaven Realm. I personally object to this matter. It's better to leave it to His Majesty to decide. Demon Marshal Duran waved his hand. The great demon King Baruth was silent for a long time. It was easy to make a decision. However, the consequences of this matter might cause the situation to move in two completely opposite directions. How to maximize the benefits of the demonic abyss. This was what gave Baruth a headache. This was not a win-win situation. If they made the wrong decision, the demonic abyss would very likely decline. A unique aura instantly appeared in the demon palace. Enemy. The newcomer was definitely an enemy. Great Demon King Baruth and Demon Marshal Duran immediately sensed it. They stood up simultaneously and gathered their energy, preparing to attack this special aura. Your demon abyss is really lacking in manners. Is this how you welcome an old friend? A shadow flashed outside, and before the guards of the demon palace could react, it had already reached the door of Baruth's imperial study. A human man with a bright smile, full of sunshine, ignored Baruth and Demon Marshal Duran, who were glaring at him like a tiger watching its prey. He walked in proudly, and even swaggered to find a chair to sit down. He crossed his legs, leisurely and contented. He was even more relaxed than when he was in his own study. You clan's third young master? What are you doing here? Baruth was not worried that Yu Yang was here to seduce his concubine and daughter. This was because humans had a different aesthetic view from the demon abyss. This human boy would definitely not like a demon beauty that was close to 10 meters tall. Her entire body was covered in flaming scales, and she had sharp horns and fangs. As for Yu Yang's arrival, Baruth immediately thought of one thing. This brat must be here to persuade them. You're all wrong. I'm not here to ask for help. I'm here to save you. Yu Yang had read The Three Kingdoms before. He knew that a qualified persuader must first use a toad's tone to intimidate the other party, otherwise they would not be able to talk. Save us? Did I hear wrongly? It seems like the soaring dragon continent is in danger now. Demon Marshal Duran laughed coldly. Do you think that Disya will be destroyed? Yu Yang said it as if it was as easy as eating dumplings at home. Definitely destroyed. Baruth dared to bet with Yu Yang. Then do you think that the Black Hell King can kill me? Yu Yang asked again. Baruth and Duran looked at each other. It was really hard to answer this question. Although the Black Hell King was powerful, this brat was abnormal. Most importantly, this brat had two unimaginably strong fire-type beasts protecting him. Would the Black Hell King do that? If he calms down, the first to be destroyed will be the demon abyss. Yu Yang alarmingly threatened Baruth and Duran. What a joke. How can the Black Hell King conquer our demon abyss? Baruth was really not worried about this. The demon race was not like humans. They would rather die than surrender. Moreover, the number of people in the Black Hell Army and the number of people in the demon abyss was at least 1 to 1,000,000. In the face of such a vast number, everything else was like floating clouds. The Black Hell Army attacking the demon abyss is like pouring a ladle of water into a sea of fire. They are seeking their own destruction. Demon Marshal Duran was also very confident. It is indeed not easy to conquer the demon abyss. However, what if he attacks you demon kings alone? You can't possibly hide in the demon abyss forever and live together, right? If you go to Tong Tian Tower and the Black Hell King attacks you everywhere, how can you survive? If you are willing to be a coward, then I have nothing to say. Yu Yang spread his hands. Even if the Black Hell King conquers the soaring dragon continent, he may not be able to enter the god's ruins palace. His strength may not increase. The great demon King Baruth still firmly denied. Yes, I am just assuming. 6,000 years ago, the Black Hell King was the prison emperor's right-hand man. He then betrayed the prison emperor and attracted the 3 great leaders of Heaven Realm. The prison emperor used his life to seal the 3 great leaders. You guys should know about this. However, until recently, the 3 great leaders of Heaven Realm woke up and left the prison emperor divine palace. You guys still don't know about this. Yu Yang laughed and changed the topic. The 3 great leaders of Heaven Realm? Baruth and Duran looked at each other and frowned. The 3 great leaders are called Ming Yu Guang, Void and Jiu Shao. With their strength, they could instantly kill you guys with just a finger. Of course, they were still very weak after breaking free from the seal. Even so, they still beat this young master to a pulp. I had to use the divine weapon left behind by the prison emperor to chase them away with great difficulty. Yu Yang seemed to be saying that when he went out to buy cabbage today, he saw a deskmate that he had not seen for many years. His expression was indifferent, but the pride in his eyes made people go crazy. If it wasn't for Baruth and Duran's strong endurance, they would have beaten him up long ago. The prison emperor left behind a divine equipment for you? Duran and Baruth were extremely jealous. This brat's luck was 2 dogs *t. He could even pick up a divine equipment so easily. Actually, I could take it out for you guys to see. Since there are 3 of them, I could just take one out for you guys to be envious of. A handsome, generous and heroic young hero like me would definitely not be stingy. However, a few days ago, when I took it out for the Scarlet Emperor to admire, I accidentally smashed his skull, turning the originally ugly Scarlet Emperor into a pig. Hence, for your safety, I decided to temporarily keep it and wait for a chance to take it out. Yu Yang shook his legs. The Scarlet Emperor. Baruth and Demon Marshal Duran were shocked. They had heard about the Scarlet Emperor from the Demon Abyss ancient records. This was an extremely perverted murderer. He had once massacred a few demon palaces in the Demon Abyss. He was extremely evil and did not act according to common sense. He killed people as he pleased. He was even scarier than the super-strong prison emperor. He has already escaped, along with his concubine who has demon blood. Yu Yang's expression was very surprised, as if he was saying that you guys didn't know? Did you injure him? Duran asked tentatively. Actually, he injured me even more. At that time, Shun Tian and the Black Prince were also there. Damn it, these 2 bastards attacked me from both sides, and I was almost killed by them. Luckily, I was lucky enough to survive. Yu Yang coughed twice, indicating that his internal injuries had not yet healed, and that he was still coughing a little. You actually managed to escape from the Scarlet Emperor, Shun Tian, and the Black Prince's attacks? Baruth was shocked when he heard this. What escape? That was a strategic retreat. Yu Yang protested unhappily, indicating that this great demon king's words were inappropriate. The Scarlet Emperor also came out. Demon Marshal Duran felt that the current Tong Tian Tower was a pool of muddy water. The Black Hell King, who had betrayed the Yu Yang for 6,000 years, was already scary enough. Now there was even a Scarlet Emperor. This guy was not at the same level as the Black Hell King. He was a higher level emperor, the same level as the Prison Emperor. The Black Hell King was only a general in the past. Compared to the Scarlet Emperor, he was far inferior. Don't worry, I broke his arms and legs and shattered his skull. He probably won't be able to recover in a year and a half. You guys still have a year to enjoy yourselves. I'm done talking, I'm leaving. Yu Yang pretended to leave. Wait. Demon Marshal Duran hurriedly dissuaded him. I think we need to discuss the Black Hell King's evil invasion in detail. This is definitely unjust. Baruth's righteous words almost made Yu Yang faint. It seems like the one who did the most unjust evil invasion was you, Baruth, the great demon king of the demon abyss? You still have the cheek to criticize others. However, since the task of persuading him had been completed, this negotiation still had to continue. He couldn't just leave. Summon Haoxian, Gu Luan, and the others. I think we can temporarily put aside our grudges and work together. Yu Yang suggested. Work together. Baruth and Duran were embarrassed. What was the difference between talking about working together with this brat and asking a tiger for its skin? The Black Hell King and the Scarlet Emperor were not to be trifled with, especially the Scarlet Emperor. He was the greatest threat to the demon abyss and even the entire Tong Tian Tower. However, Yu Yang, the new abnormal brat from the soaring dragon continent, was not someone to be trifled with. He had already made such a name for himself at such a young age. He had caused trouble in the Demon Palace, fought with the three great leaders of the Heaven Realm, and the Scarlet Emperor was in an even worse state. Even with the help of Shun Tian and the Black Prince, he was heavily injured and went into hiding. From this, it could be seen that when this brat matures, he would at least become the new Prison Emperor. With him around, the Demon Abyss would definitely not have a good time. The problem was that if they did not work together now and this brat bore a grudge, the Demon Abyss would be in trouble in the future. They couldn't fight or kill him. This little ancestor was making things difficult for them. But if they really wanted to cooperate with him, they wouldn't be satisfied either. Why should they lower their stance and cooperate with him when the soaring dragon continent was in trouble? Both Baruth and Demon Marshal Duran had the urge to strangle Yu Yang. In the end, they endured it. This was because Yu Yang took advantage of the situation and said, "Clever Demon King, Your Majesty, the secret of the Heaven Realm is nothing. If the Black Hell King used this to tempt you, it would be the same as using candy to trick little kids. Anyone with a higher IQ would know what kind of person he is. It would be better to believe that an old sow can climb a tree than to believe him. The Heaven Realm is not a secret. You guys don't have that kind of power now. If you guys do, I will bring you guys on a tour. I will even provide free food and accommodation. Also, what is this on your desk? It's just a heaven rune and you guys don't even recognize it. I really feel ashamed for you guys. I don't know how you guys became great demon kings. Let me tell you, this is a rune circle that can strengthen the demon race's body. I am in a good mood today, otherwise I wouldn't show my talent to ignorant people. I am very low-key. Do I have to tell you guys that I have a divine beast?" Great Demon King Baruth and Demon Marshal Duran sweated profusely. They thought to themselves, "You brat, that Hui Tai Lang is a household name, who doesn't know about you? Furthermore, it would be great if you really only have one divine beast. You have so many divine beasts that you can't contract them all. Even that Hui Tai Lang isn't willing to waste a contract slot. You only contract beauties and divine beasts. the two of them cursed silently. In the end, they resisted the urge to beat up Yu Yang. They looked at each other and decided to inform Demon King Haoxian, Lich King Guluan, and the others to come. Just like that, the first alliance between humans and the demon abyss began. Although this was a secret alliance between Yu Yang and the few demon abyss rulers, it was undeniable that Yu Yang's silver tongue had done a good job. The power it produced was not inferior to the power displayed by the divine beast. Chapter 423. Tong Tian Tower, 6th floor. Lin En, Anna, Liao, Fan Luan Tai and the rest were still waiting in front of the teleportation portal. According to Bao Er, if her heartless brother, Yu Yang, did not return, she would cry herself to death. Of course, this was just an example. In fact, she stopped crying after a while. The reason was that there were so many people in front of the teleportation portal, and she was too embarrassed to keep crying. Come back later to coax me. Come back later, come back later. Bao Er was holding the Ox Tribe's special divination card. She would be overjoyed when she flipped a red card, because the result indicated good luck. She would pout when she flipped a black card, because it meant bad luck. This little girl would be happy one moment and depressed the next. She was immersed in her divination and was so engrossed in it that she did not notice Fan Luan Tai's faint expression. Fan Luan Tai was not usually superstitious. In fact, this Ox Tribe divination card was an amulet that the old chief of the Ox Tribe insisted on giving to his granddaughter. He insisted that she wear it, otherwise Fan Luan Tai would not have brought this useless card. When Fan Luan Tai saw Bao Er crying, she took it out to coax her. This was because she lied to her that Yu Yang would return soon if she flipped a red card. This was because the number of red cards was more than double that of black cards. In addition to this little girl's heaven-defying luck, the probability of flipping a red card was very high. Coaxing her was still possible. Unexpectedly, when Bao Er flipped, she realized that it was a black card and insisted on flipping another one. This was the beginning of a disaster. Bao Er flipped a red card and felt happy. She felt that it was not safe enough. She flipped another red card and still felt that it was not safe enough. She flipped again and again. When she flipped a black card, she immediately decided to flip 10 more red cards to get rid of her bad luck. In the end, she kept flipping. Fan Luan Tai had never encountered such a situation in her life. She did not know what to say. Divination cards could only be flipped once. How could it be accurate if she flipped so many? However, the first card she flipped was a black card. Would Yu Yang really have an accident? I'll be back in a bit, I'll be back in a bit, I'll be back in a bit, I'll be back in a bit. Wow, I've flipped 10 times and it's all red cards. Big Brother Titan will be back in a bit. Bao Er excitedly ran to Anna to show off her incredible luck. Yes, he'll definitely come back. Anna was both surprised by this little girl's luck and secretly amused. She could win his trust just by flipping the card? True divination required a special beast's special ability. It must be a divination warrior who had the same mind as the beast. Only then would they be able to see a little bit of the fuzzy future. How could a normal person use a card to make a prediction? She didn't want to hurt Bao Er and comforted her with a gentle voice. However, she felt a wave of sadness in her heart. According to Yu Yang's character and temper, he probably wouldn't return before the battle with the Black Hell King ended. May I ask if you know a martial artist nicknamed Extremely Cheap Fat Demon, and whose real name is Haida Fu? 2 tall men walked over in a row. They were all lesser innates. This was not the point. What made Lin En and Leo nervous was the weird badge on the chest of the 2 men. The emblem was black in color, with blood-red flames and silver lightning. It looked like a silver-white lightning bolt tearing through the sky and fiercely striking the ground, blasting open the ground, splashing magma and spewing huge flames. Before this, Lin En and Leo didn't notice this emblem. Because there were as many emblems in Tong Tian Tower, no one could recognize all of them. Moreover, this emblem was rare. But now, because Fatty Hai, Yi Kong and the others had left, Lin En and Leo, who specially understood the Black Hell King and the Black Hell Army, knew what this emblem represented. It was the unique emblem of the Black Hell Army. In other words, the two men in front of them were from the Black Hell Army. Don't be afraid, we just want to understand the situation. We respect the peaceful Golden Elves, the brave Ox Clan warriors and the cheerful Pig Clan warriors. We just want to ask if you know Hai De Fu or other warriors from the Soaring Dragon continent. Is it convenient for you to divulge some harmless information to us? We can pay you money, 1,000 gold. We hope you can tell us Hai De Fu's proficiency in battle techniques, beasts and any other information you know. The man on the left looked very amiable and full of smiles. However, Bao Er felt that this guy looked like a smiling tiger. She was very afraid of his hypocritical smile. You want us to betray our friends for 1,000 gold? Fan Luan Tai spat unreservedly. Don't reject our kindness. The man on the right exploded like a barrel of gunpowder. His temper was easier to provoke than a bull. He stared at Fan Luan Tai. I believe you also know that the Black Hell Army has declared war on the warriors of Xia Kingdom. You are their ally, we can totally kill you. You better be smart and don't make me angry, or else we will send you all on your way. Sorry, we are indomitable Ox-head people. You think you can convince us or threaten us? That's the biggest joke. The motto of our Ox-head people is to die standing rather than live kneeling. Party leader Liao stood up and stared back at the other party without showing any signs of weakness. Even if he was not as strong as the other party, his aura was not weak at all. Ox-head people would only die in battle, never retreat in fear. The man on the right roared like thunder. He glanced at Lin En, Anna, Bao Er and the 4 orc girls and shouted, if the stubborn Ox-head people made such a decision, would the smart Golden Elves also make the same decision? Have you ever thought about how much pain and war your decision will bring to your clansmen? Lin En's face was cold and his gaze was as sharp as a sword. I only know that if I give in and return to my clansmen, I will bring them eternal humiliation. Golden Elves are not good at fighting, unlike the Ox-head people who engage in close combat. But in terms of spirit, Golden Elves are also strong and are not afraid of death. The man on the left of the Black Hell Army put on a face full of smiles and laughed. Don't worry, we reiterate that we have no intention of starting a war with the Ox-head people and the Elves. We are only here to gather information. We don't have the information you need here. Leave, we don't welcome you. Anna ordered them to leave. What if we insist on asking? The man on the right of the Black Hell Army was furious. Scram! A thunderous shout came from afar. O Jen from the Warrior Guild strode over from the other side of the passageway. He shouted at the 2 people from the Black Hell Army, this area is under the jurisdiction of the Warrior Guild. You lackeys, get lost now, or else I will kill you. The 2 men from different clans did not expect that there would be an innate from the Warrior Guild watching over these people. They stared at O Jen coldly. All right, goodbye everyone. Uncle O Jen patted Lin En's shoulder. Go back, I think Little Titan and the rest will understand your intentions. They would only want to see you guys in a safe place. You have seen it just now, the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower is no longer safe. The Black Hell Army has offered a huge reward at the Mercenary Guild. For money and treasures, the thieves have already leaked your information. This is just the beginning. After a period of time, I'm afraid it will be even more dangerous. Lin En nodded. I understand, let's wait for another day. After all, Little Titan had said before that if the situation was still alright, he would bring us to the Soaring Dragon continent. Uncle O Jen wanted to tell him that Little Titan was just casually replying at that time. However, he thought about it again. Even if he was rescuing his teammates, even if there was a tiny bit of hope, he would not be willing to give up even if it was extremely slim. Uncle O Jen patted Lin En's shoulder again, and patted Bao Er's head lightly to show his support. An iron-blood warrior rushed over to report to Uncle O-Jen that a team of dragon hunters had appeared. Hearing this news, O-Jen was slightly stunned. He thought for a while. Lin-En, you guys have two choices. One is to leave the 6th floor immediately and return to your own continent. The other is to wait for Little Titan in the warrior guild. I suspect that the enemy is trying to lure us away from our territory. The appearance of the dragon hunters this time is too strange. I, who is on duty, cannot refuse to go out to battle because that is my job. However, I am also worried about your safety. Let's go quickly to the warrior guild's main hall. It is no longer safe here. Lin-En and the rest looked at each other, but in the end, they could not make up their minds to go back. Everyone felt that it would be better to wait for Yu Yang at the warrior guild first. No matter how arrogant the Black Hell Army was, they would not go as far as to kill people in the warrior guild's main hall. O-Jen sent them all the way to the plaza. Seeing that the warrior guild was not far away, he then teleported away with a peace of mind and rushed to the place where the dragon hunters had appeared to carry out his mission. Captain Liao was in front, Lin-En was at the back, and Anna was holding Bao Er's hand as they walked quickly towards the warrior guild. Although it was common to see fights in the plaza, it was already within the warrior guild's sphere of influence. Corrupted warriors usually did not dare to appear here. Lin-En realized that there was nothing wrong with the surroundings and the warrior guild was right in front of him. He could not help but secretly heave a sigh of relief. No matter how arrogant the Black Hell Army was, they would not be this arrogant. This was the warrior guild that was recognized by all warriors, including the innate alliance. No matter how arrogant they would not dare to challenge the entire warrior guild, because that was equivalent to challenging the entire innate alliance. However, just as Anna and Bao Er were about to walk up the stairs of the warrior guild, two shadows flashed past. The two men from different races from the Black Hell Army, one smiling and one angry, stood in front of the two girls on both sides, blocking their path. I said, we will meet again. The man from different races laughed out loud. Don't think that the warrior guild on the 6th floor can stop us, the Black Hell Army. Moreover, you have not stepped onto the stairs of the warrior guild, and are still outside. Strictly speaking, if we kill you here, it will not be considered as challenging the warrior guild. Everyone, don't force yourself, you will not have any reinforcements. That stone-headed fool has already gone to play hide and seek with the dragon hunter. He will not be back for at least 2 hours. In the entire warrior guild, there is no one who is stronger than us. I have a good suggestion. Follow us obediently. Otherwise, if my companion gets angry, it will be terrible. Forget about the orcs, you two golden elves with soft skin and white flesh. I don't think you two would want my companion to go berserk and humiliate you in front of everyone, right? In short, there are only warriors who die in battle, there are no cowards who compromise. Anna's face was calm and determined. She waved her hand and Oxhead Fan Luan Tai and the 4 orc girls erupted, determined to fight to the death. I'm going to get angry, all of you deserve to die. Bao Er angrily took out her vine bow, knocked an arrow and aimed at the enemy. What a joke, what can this little bow do? Even a child's slingshot is much better than this. Ha 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 ha, ah ha ha. The smiling man from a different race laughed loudly, completely unmoved. Don't talk about the two of us, even I alone can finish you all off in a minute. I hate Oxhead people the most, let me tell you how you will die. I will break off your horns, stab them into your eyes and pierce through your head. I want you to see your bullsh *T warrior's pride and your horns are nothing in front of me. You filthy orcs, I will feel that it is a waste of food to let you live for a while longer. You should have been killed long ago, I don't want your stinky meat, but I will cut off your breasts and hearts and use them to accompany wine, that is still acceptable. Lastly, you two golden elves, it will not be easy for you to die. Do you want to die? When I'm tired of playing with you, I'll sell you to be my slaves. Don't try to be a hero in your next life. What you should really do is to use your soft skin and white flesh to serve your master." The infuriated man opened his bloody mouth wide, revealing his sinister and terrifying sharp teeth. "Kill!" Fan Luantai shouted, raised her giant axe and slashed forward. "What a joke!" The angry man from a different race stretched out his hand, and Fan Luantai was sent flying by the shockwave, falling straight down. The 4 orc girls quickly caught her together, but the force of Fan Luantai's fall was too heavy, even they could not hold it, and all of them fell together. Compared to before they met Yu Yang, their strength had increased greatly. But compared to lesser innates, there was still a huge gap. "Let us do it." Linen and party leader Li Ao did not speak before this, but action came first. They stepped out from the crowd, determined to sacrifice themselves and make a suicidal attack on the enemy. This way, they could let the women rush into the warrior guild. No matter how arrogant the 2 people from the Black Hell Army were, they would not dare to chase into the warrior guild. Even if they chased after them, the warrior guild would protect them. The receptionist girls from the warrior guild were already standing at the entrance, waving at Anna and the rest, signaling them to rush in. The 2 receptionist girls did not have the strength to fight against the people from the Black Hell Army, but they extended their hands to Anna and Bao Er without fear. As long as they could enter the warrior guild, they would protect them. In the warrior guild, there was a special secret hiding room, specially used to protect those warriors who sought protection. Just when party leader Li Ao and Lin En used all their strength to perish together with the enemy, a lazy voice rang out from behind them. "Are you bullying them with fewer people? If that's the case, you won't mind bullying me." Ah! Lin En and the rest could not believe their ears. Whoa! Especially Bao Er, when she turned around, she saw a man wearing a Gemini mask holding a Bull Clan card in his hand, casually drawing cards. She was so excited that she could not control herself. She cried and rushed towards him, diving into his arms, crying her heart out. "You're too talkative, I'll kill you." The angry man from a different race immediately flew towards Yu Yang when he saw that he was just a normal level 6 brat. It was useless for him to be arrogant. He struck with his palm, preparing to kill the person in one move. In the sky, a huge black shadow swooped down, 10 times faster than lightning. The sharp scythe-like arms, in the instant the heavy palm hit its master, it forcefully cut it in half. Before the angry man could react, the other scythe-like arm had already clamped onto the enemy's body. A triangular head came over and bit down, tearing off the angry man's arm and chewing it in its mouth. It was, of course, the Reaper Mantis. "Keep the head and eat it slowly, don't kill it yet. Let me teach him a lesson first." The person who came was, of course, Yu Yang. At this moment, Yu Yang displayed the demeanor of a great educator, rushing towards the guy who was being eaten by the Reaper Mantis and howling in pain. "Friend, you have to know that it's wrong to scare little kids. You've scared this little kid so much that he's crying. It's so troublesome to coax him. Just like this, how many lollipops do I have to waste? Moreover, it's not good to eat too many lollipops. Eating too many lollipops will cause tooth decay. Look at how pretty his little white teeth are, you just had to make his tooth decay. Don't you think you deserve to die?" Lin En and the others were sweating profusely. The man from a different race who was originally smiling now looked worse than if he was crying. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't squeeze out a smile. Beads of cold sweat the size of beans appeared on his forehead. Encountering such a freakishly strong and psychologically perverted fellow, it was truly the greatest misfortune of 18 lifetimes. Right now, he wasn't thinking about saving his comrade, but escaping. He definitely wouldn't save his comrade. Even if he did, it would be a waste of medical fees. Moreover, saving someone from the mouth of a platinum-ranked level 4 Reaper Mantis? Even an innate wouldn't be able to handle this level of difficulty. Right now, how could he ensure his own safety and not be eaten by the Reaper Mantis one bite at a time like his comrade? That was what he was thinking about. He had a few plans. One was to attack the nearest golden elf, because her attention was attracted by the person who came, so attacking would be the best time. The second was to escape, because everyone was looking at the person who came, their attention would be diverted, so escaping would be the best time. Choose one of the two. If he stayed, with a hostage in his hands, no matter how fast the Reaper Mantis was, it wouldn't be able to attack him. Escaping was also a good idea, because his speed was extremely fast, and the Reaper Mantis was still eating its comrade, so it wouldn't be able to chase after him in time. After hesitating for half a second, the man from a different race who was originally smiling bitterly chose the first plan, which was to attack the golden elf. With a hostage in his hands, he could obtain a few seconds of negotiation time. Then, he could crush the teleportation stone and escape. This was much safer than escaping alone. Just when this guy thought that his evil plan had succeeded, who knew that everyone in front of him would react immediately. Courting death. Lin En, party leader Li Ao and the Oxhead Fan Luan Tai all attacked at the same time. They had already guessed that the opponent would not give up and attack Anna. Anna summoned her grimoire instantly, raising her protective shield and repelling the opponent's sharp claws that were about to grab her head. These were not the main points. There was an iron-backed demonic wolf that had been lying behind the man from a different race, dozing off lazily. It casually waved its claws as if it was yawning, smashing the lesser innate rancor to the ground. Under the dumbfounded gaze of all the onlookers, it opened its mouth wide and bit off the enemy's arm. It ignored the enemy's painful struggle and tragic screams as it chewed leisurely. Its attitude was even more leisurely than the Reaper Mantis, as if it was a pet dog enjoying a delicious calf's ribs. It was Hui Tai Lang. Yu Yang looked defeated and sighed. I've seen people courting death, but I've never seen someone courting death like you. However, maybe you're envious of how your comrade died, or maybe you have a special hobby. I can't help it, I admire your hobby. I wish you a happy time being eaten, and enjoy the process of being eaten. All the onlookers sweated profusely when they heard this. Chapter 424. Yu Yang brought Lin En and the rest down to the first floor of Tong Tian Tower. This was definitely the first time in 1,000 years that golden elves, ox people and orcs had come down to the first floor of Tong Tian Tower where the soaring dragon continent was located. On the 6th floor, it was rare for humans to have such temporary battle companions. This was because humans and the golden elves had completely different ideals, personalities and values. Human warriors would never interact with the golden elves and the other races. There were very few people in the soaring dragon continent who could become friends with the golden elves. However, in the past 1,000 years, only Yu Yang was able to bring the golden elves down to the first floor. The ordinary receptionists of the warrior guild were all dumbfounded. To humans, the beauty of the golden elves could only be described in one word. Perfect. Breathtakingly perfect. Along the way, the human mercenaries who saw Anna and Bao Er would either bump into trees or walls. No matter which direction they were heading in, they would all turn their heads in the same direction. Some even threw their beasts aside and followed from afar, looking at Anna and Bao Er in fascination. It was no wonder. Even in the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower, Anna and Bao Er were still peerless beauties that charmed the entire street. Moreover, these mercenary scum in the first floor of Tong Tian Tower were only ordinary level 2 warriors or ordinary level 3 heroes. With their determination, it would be strange if they could resist the charm of the golden elves. Welcome, distinguished guests from other continents. Please allow me to represent all the warriors in the soaring dragon continent to welcome you. First of all, I would like to apologize to you. According to the rules, we have to check your Tong Tian Tower introduction card. The first floor warrior guild sent out their most senior elder Luluan. He was the branch master of the first floor warrior guild. When he heard that there were golden elves coming to the soaring dragon continent, He immediately put on his best clothes and took out the scepter that he had not used for many years. He wore the badge of the branch master of the first-floor warrior guild and welcomed the distinguished guests politely. That old bark-like face of Elder Luluan was full of smiles. Such a smile had probably not appeared on Elder Luluan's face for almost 100 years. Actually, the verification procedures had already been implemented in the 5th, 4th, 3rd and 2nd floor of Tong Tian Tower. However, to the first floor it was even more significant. This was because once they stepped out of the first floor, it would mean that the Golden Elves had truly stepped into the soaring dragon continent. According to the accurate historical records, 3,000 years ago there were a few Golden Elves who were good friends with the humans. They had once fought alongside the humans and formed an alliance. They were then invited to the soaring dragon continent to play. That was the historical record of the warrior guild. Of course, no one knew if there were any Golden Elf rankers, especially Golden Elfinates, who went through the ancient passage to explore the soaring dragon continent. However, there was no record of Golden Elves appearing in the soaring dragon continent for at least 1,000 years. To the selfish and cunning humans, the Golden Elves were an outstanding race with beauty and intelligence. They had excellent personalities and morals. If a human warrior could get to know a Golden Elf teammate and exchange a few words with them, he would be able to brag for a long time when he returned to the soaring dragon continent. Now, there were actually 3 Golden Elves who volunteered to come to the soaring dragon continent to fight against the Black Hell Army. 2 of them were even the most famous Golden Elf beauties. This news made the first floor's Warrior Guild branch Master Luluan extremely proud. This was definitely the greatest and most successful diplomatic honor he had achieved during his tenure. Pa pa pa. The receptionists behind Luluan applauded for a long time. If it wasn't for Anna and Lin and politely rejecting the Warrior Guild's proposal to hold a grand welcome banquet, Elder Luluan was prepared to take out his private savings to celebrate. Not to mention Elder Luluan, even Jun Wu Yu and Hua Su Ri, who received the news, sent their royal envoys to welcome them. After much difficulty, they finally got out of the soaring dragon continent. The Oxhead Fan Luan Tai looked at the sky and said something that almost made Yu Yang burst out in laughter. I was wondering what kind of place the soaring dragon continent was. Turns out it was similar to our place. How could there be so many abnormal people? We want to beat up Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others. No one is allowed to stop us. The 4 orc girls harbored hatred in their hearts. Yes, I even cried at that time. Bao Er also recalled her own embarrassing incident. Humans are indeed a race with unlimited potential. Lin En sighed as he looked at the crowd coming from afar. He wasn't talking about the quality of humans, but the quantity. When the quantity increased, 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 10,000, it wasn't strange for humans to have so many innate. One must know that not only the Golden Elves, even if all the elves were to be added together, they wouldn't even amount to 1% of the population of the soaring dragon continent. You haven't been to the demon abyss before. The quantity there is more. Yu Yang retorted. Quantity was not everything. There are indeed a lot of creatures in the demon abyss, but most of them lack intelligence. If all the creatures in the demon abyss had the intelligence of humans, they would have conquered all the continents in the Tong Tian Tower. Anna smiled slightly. She was most envious of humans' intelligence and growth speed. Take Bao Er for example. She had grown up in the elf forest for more than 150 years. Her intelligence and knowledge were similar to a 14 or 15-year-old human girl. She might not even be more sensible than a 14 or 15-year-old human girl. This was the biggest difference between the two races. She had heard Fatty Hai and Yi Kong mention Yu Yang's sister, Yu Bing. This little girl was not old, but she was much more sensible than Bao Er. Moreover, her battle power was also much higher. Compared to humans, the only advantage the Golden Elves had was their relatively long lifespan. For the Golden Elves, there were many who had lived for more than 3,000 years. However, it was rare for a normal human to live for more than 200 years. For Li Ao and Fan Luan Tai of the Oxhead clan, the advantage of humans was not their numbers or their early maturity, but their creativity. The Oxhead clan did not lack warriors, because all of them were natural warriors. They would reach adulthood at the age of 10 and could rush to the battlefield. However, for the Oxhead clan who were only good at charging and breaking through enemy lines, creating a material civilization was an unsolvable problem. They relied on a single method to educate their descendants, which was to nurture their descendants' instincts. If all the Oxhead clan could create different kinds of civilizations like humans and educate their descendants like humans, they would become a powerful clan that surpassed humans. Of course, this assumption was only limited to Li Ao and Fan Luan Tai's imagination. This time, Yu Yang could not bring them back to the Yu clan castle first. He gave Jun Wuyu some face and directly brought them to Shangjing to the imperial palace. Jun Wuyu wore a crown and court attire. He was full of energy and looked like a spring breeze as he led the crowd to welcome them. A loud and clear horn sounded. The imperial guards in the imperial palace came out in a line under the leadership of the great commander Feng Kuang. They stood on both sides of the road, their armors shining brightly and their banners clear. The coiling dragon giant bell that could resound throughout the entire Shangjing was struck 28 times by 10 strong men. The melodious and mellow buzzing sound made the whole city boil. This was the biggest ceremony for a country to welcome guests or to celebrate a celebration. Other than when a new emperor ascended the throne, marrying an empress, or when a new heavenly imperial guardian joined the ranks, this coiling dragon giant bell would only be struck 28 times. Usually, even when a crown prince or a princess was married, it would only be struck 10 times. When the Golden Elves Lin En, Anna and Bao Er stepped forward, they first paid their respects to Jun Wuyu. The entire road was filled with cheers that sounded like a tsunami. This was definitely the honor of the Xia Kingdom. The incomparably noble Golden Elves, the incomparably brave Oxhead clan, and the robust and heroic Orcs all paid their respects to their king. This was an honor that humans had never had since ancient times. All the distinguished guests were powerful warriors that came from the 6th floor of Tong Tian Tower. Especially now that the Xia Kingdom was in the midst of war, they still came from afar to fight for their human allies. This friendship was even more precious. Welcome to the Soaring Dragon Continent. Your arrival is the greatest encouragement to the warriors of the Soaring Dragon Continent. History will remember this moment. No matter what the future of the Soaring Dragon Continent is, I hope that the warriors of Xia, the Golden Elves, the Oxhead clan and the Orcs will forever be brothers and sisters. We will support and help each other. Today, you have come from afar to fight for our great Xia against the enemy's invasion. In the future, our great Xia's warriors and disciples will repay your friendship with courage and actions 100-fold. Jun Wuyu's impassioned speech resounded through the skies. He was really excited. This was not as simple as a few foreign races coming to help in the war. The arrival of Lin En, Anna and the others was the greatest encouragement to the warriors of Xia. Furthermore, there was another point. This matter had proven the charisma of the younger generation, Yu Yang, Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others. In just a short period of a month, the Golden Elves, who usually had the least interaction with the human warriors, were willing to come and help in the war. They achieved a feat that countless seniors could not do. Did this not prove how outstanding Yu Yang and the others were? Even if Xia was defeated by the Black Hell Army's invasion and was destroyed, with the charisma of the younger generation, Yu Yang and the others, with the help of so many races, how difficult would it be to reclaim Xia? Human Emperor, we are very happy to come to the Soaring Dragon Continent. To us, the Soaring Dragon Continent is an unfamiliar place. The Xia Kingdom is also just one of the many countries in the different continents of Tong Tian Tower. However, we have been fascinated by this magical land for a long time. We have always been curious as to what kind of land could nurture so many outstanding human warriors, not to mention the Yu clan's third young master, even Haidefu, Yi Kong and the Li clan brothers, who are full of fighting spirit, have already shocked us. During our adventures, we realized that the outstanding warriors of Xia were different from the other human races. They were the most outstanding young warriors in the world. We formed deep friendships with them. We worked together in battles and went through thick and thin together. If we were to summarize them in one sentence, they were not golden elves, nor were they Taurens or orcs. They were our brothers and sisters in our hearts. They were our family. We are willing to come to the Soaring Dragon continent to help in the war for such friends and family. Even if we die in battle, we are willing and have no regrets. After Jun Wuyu, Lin En also expressed his thoughts on behalf of the Golden Elves, Ox People and Orcs. Wow, long live, this time, the people of Xia were extremely touched. Words like brothers, sisters, and relatives defeated the older generation, making the older generation burst into tears. Yu Yang, Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others of the younger generation really lived up to their expectations. Since ancient times, how many races would go to another continent to help? Not to mention the human warriors who were not welcomed by the other races and had always been seen as a disaster. Now, there were golden elves announcing to everyone that they recognized the people of Xia as family and were willing to die for Xia. This statement was really awesome. There was no way they wouldn't be touched. The young people were even more excited, their blood was boiling. Even the golden elves had come to help. Why would they be afraid of the Black Hell Army? They would just fight it out with them. The ordinary soldiers couldn't wait to go onto the battlefield and kill the enemy. Their burning desire to fight made them feel frenzied. They clenched their fists and knocked hard on their breastplates. At first, it was a few hundred people, then a few thousand people. Close to 10,000 people knocked on their breastplates with all their might, making the entire Imperial Road rumble like thunder. More and more people joined in and beat their breastplates in an orderly manner. The morale of all the soldiers converged into a crazy torrent, completely suppressing the cheers of the people. Bam bam bam, bam 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 bam. Shouting could no longer express the emotions in their hearts. Only this way could the soldiers slightly express the excitement in their hearts. Jun Wuyu looked at Yu Yang with gratitude. He knew that all of this was actually planned by Yu Yang in advance. If not, why would he bring the Golden Elves back to the Soaring Dragon continent with great fanfare? Even if he brought them back, he wouldn't have informed him beforehand and let him prepare. Jun Wuyu was very clear of Yu Yang's motive. It was to boost his morale. In the current Xia kingdom, because of the Black Hell Army's declaration of war and the instigation of many spies, the morale of the people was low. They felt that the possibility of the country being destroyed was very high. This indirectly affected the soldiers. Even some generals were shaken. Now, after the Golden Elves paid a visit to the Emperor of Xia and announced that they would fight to the death with the enemy, the morale of the soldiers and the people would be greatly boosted. Not to mention the others, even Jun Wuyu himself felt greatly encouraged. Originally, Jun Wuyu was already prepared for failure. Although he would rather die than surrender, he never thought that he could win against the Black Hell Army. All his thoughts were prepared for failure. Now with Yu Yang's encouragement, Jun Wuyu's ambition returned. He secretly decided that until the end, no one would know who would emerge victorious. He had Marshal Yu Hai to lead the army and Yu Yang to fight against the innate. Although the Black Hell Army was powerful, it was not to the extent of being unable to put up a fight. Fight to the death. Jun Wuyu nodded towards Yu Yang. This little fellow had done so much, as the emperor, he couldn't let the younger generation look down on him. Heh! Yu Yang actually had the intention to encourage Jun Wuyu. He couldn't be bothered about the morale of the ordinary people, that wasn't the most important factor in deciding the outcome of the war. However, Jun Wu-yu, the emperor, had to hold on. If he were to admit defeat, then no matter how powerful he was, he wouldn't be able to use it. Was the Black Hell King and the Black Hell Army really undefeatable? Yu Yang never believed in heresy. He even dared to start a war with the three great leaders of Heaven Realm, and even dared to attack the Scarlet Emperor. Why would he be afraid of a mere Black Hell King? Amidst the cheers of the crowd, Jun Wu-yu welcomed Lin En, Anna and Bao Er into the palace. Fatty Hai, Yi Kong and the rest were all smiling as they waited in the main hall. They looked more like grandchildren than grandchildren. Yu Yang waved his hand. Go ahead and fight, don't be courteous. But it's best not to exceed an hour, because His Majesty will be hosting a banquet in an hour. You can't be. Not only did you not stop them from fighting, you even let them fight. Fatty Hai screamed like a pig being slaughtered. Before he could finish his sentence, he was beaten up badly by the oxhead Fan Luan Tai. This is called friends die, not me. Yu Yang gave him a cool back view. In Jun Wu-yu's imperial study, Jun Wu-yu, who had just expressed his gratitude to his future son-in-law, picked up a cup of tea and drank it comfortably. He then asked, Brat, what other good news do you have? Tell me now. While my heart can still take it, tell me everything. He knew that Yu Yang wouldn't give in to these three tricks. He definitely had something good that he was preparing to take out. Yu Yang had really put in a lot of effort. Who asked Jun Wu-yu, this old fellow, to give birth to such an amazing rouge tigress? In order to pick up girls, he was willing to make a small sacrifice. Yu Yang cleared his throat. It's like this, Mr. Chern from the Qi-Lan continent will be supporting His Majesty with 500 thunder beasts and 100 thunder armors. Jun Wu-yu choked when he heard this. The fame of these thunder beasts and thunder armors was not inferior to the Qi-Lan wine. Of course Jun Wu-yu had heard of them before. Moreover, when he was still a prince, he wanted to make a set for himself, but he did not manage to do so due to various reasons. The thunder armors and storage ring became his biggest regret. He did not expect his future son-in-law to give him 100 sets at once. Ignoring Jun Wu-yu's choking expression, Yu Yang said lightly, There's also a secret agreement signed between Great Demon King Zhang Moyuan, Baruth and Haexin. If we can defeat the Black Hell Army, they will send troops to attack the Black Hell King and make him suffer. Pooh! Jun Wu-yu couldn't help but spit out the water. He then coughed violently. This brat's words almost made him choke to death. Chapter 425. Although Yu Yang had secretly signed an alliance with the various demon kings in the demon abyss, it was impossible for ordinary civilians and soldiers to know about it. However, to the leaders of the Great Xia Kingdom, it was nothing. This was too shocking. It could be said that this was 100 times more exciting than the arrival of the Golden Elves. After all, this was the real help. The Golden Elves' help was more of a mental boost. Thinking about the Demon King from the Demon Abyss and the human innates working together to attack the Black Hell King, Jun Wu-yu's confidence immediately soared to the maximum. According to Yu Yang's explanation, Jun Wu-yu's little universe had already been ignited. He could completely transform into a Super Saiyan and unleash a killer move at any time. Luckily the Black Hell King didn't see Jun Wu-yu's excited look. If not, he would definitely retreat in fear. Other than Elder Yu Hai, Shui Dong Lu, the State Grandmaster, the two Heavenly Imperial Guardians and the Heavenly Imperial Guardians sent by Tian Luo Kingdom, people like Feng Xiaoyun, Shuewen Dao, Yan Qianzhong and the others couldn't really see the contents of the alliance agreement, but they could see the alliance agreement. Even so, the appearance of this secret alliance had greatly boosted their fighting spirit. Especially Yan Qianzhong, who was in a dilemma, he was even more shocked. He was even guessing if Jun Wu-yu had intentionally revealed it to him. On one hand, Zijin Kingdom was trying their best to rope him in, hoping that he would be the first to rebel against the four major clans. On the other hand, he was not willing to be someone else's lackey, because the Black Hell King might not be a good person. After the war, there was a high possibility that he would be killed. As a traitor, not only would he be the only one, but his descendants would also have to bear the infamy of history. Just like the Green Summit sect, that had escaped from the Yu clan, although Zijin Kingdom had tried to rope them in and treat them well, the disciples of the Duan Mu and Machi clan were still unable to raise their heads in public. Furthermore, Great Xia might not be completely defeated. Other than the Western Lion Pagoda, the Eastern Ocean Crystal Palace, the Southern Mountains Floating Mist Sect, and the Northern Moon Fairy Pavilion were not willing to let the Black Hell King break the balance in the Soaring Dragon continent. They were even more disgusted with him establishing a foothold in the Soaring Dragon continent. They might not help him, but they would definitely help him secretly. The thing that scared Yan Qianzhong the most was the Yu clan's third young master. This brat was definitely abnormal. Could the Black Hell King kill the Yu clan's third young master? Even if Yan Qianzhong became stupid from eating the Spirit Beast Awakening Knowledge Pill, he would not think so. If he betrayed the four great clans and the Xia Kingdom, even if the Black Hell King didn't kill his family, the Yu clan's third young master wouldn't let him off. Under such a situation, Yan Qianzhong felt that he might as well be a bit more stubborn and join forces with the Feng, Shui and Yu clans and die together. Even if he died, his son Yan Pejun would still be alive. Under the leadership of the Yu clan's third young master, it would only be a matter of time before the Yan clan's Yan Pejun revived the Yan clan. Yan Qianzhong, who had previously rejected Zijin Kingdom's invitation, was so scared that his back was drenched in cold sweat when he saw the secret alliance agreement that Yu Yang had brought back with him. Fortunately, he didn't do anything stupid. Luckily he rejected Zijin Kingdom. Otherwise, the entire Yan family would really die without a burial place, and they would even have to bear the burden of eternal infamy. If he agreed, the Yan clan would definitely be erased from the list of the four great clans. The Hai clan and the Yi clan, who had Fatty Hai and Yi Kong, might even replace the Yan clan as one of the four great clans. It was true that the Black Hell King was very scary, but Yan Qianzhong thought that the scariest person was the Yu clan's third young master. Not to mention this brat's potential and speed of growth, the whole world knew that he was abnormal, and his beasts were also super abnormal. Sky Law from the Demonic Palace, Night Empress from the Tian Luo Kingdom all looked at him in a new light. Even the human Ji Zun had personally become his introducer. Of course, one couldn't look down on the Black Hell King, but it would be even more miserable to look down on the Yu clan's third young master. Yan Qianzhong thought for a while. Ever since this brat started his cultivation, no one had a good ending against him. Previously, Shun Tian and the Thousand Goblins sect leader were all dejected and depressed. It seemed that the Black Hell King would not be an exception this time. There had never been such a possibility that a human innate would actually go to the Demon Palace and negotiate with the Demon Abyss Great Demon King, and even successfully become allies. If this person wasn't the Yu clan's third young master, but someone else, Yan Qianzhong would definitely not believe it. However, Yan Qianzhong felt that it was very normal for it to be him. This brat was born to do things that others couldn't do. Everything that he did was something that others couldn't do. For example, he became an innate at the age of 20, defeated the Thousand Goblins sect, chased after the Eastern Goblin tribe, defeated the 7 Great Bears, pacified the Yu clan's rebellion, forced the great emperor of Ji Wei Shun Tian to retreat, bravely charged into the Demon Palace to chase after Duan Mu Longqing, smashed the Demon King's statue to snatch the treasures and beasts. Countless heroic deeds, none of which could be done by his peers. Even other innates couldn't do it. Because of him, the Golden Elves who had never visited the Soaring Dragon continent for thousands of years came. What was even more unbelievable was that the great demon kings in the demon abyss who hated humans to the core actually secretly signed an alliance with this brat, preparing to attack the Black Hell King. Now, Yan Qianzhong felt that even if Yu Yang said that Ji Zun would come back later to protect him and kill the Black Hell King on the spot, he would definitely not doubt it. This brat, he couldn't be judged from a normal person's point of view. When Yan Qianzhong sneaked a peek at Yu Yang, he realized that this brat was sizing him up intentionally or unintentionally. He was so scared that his heart trembled. Could it be that he already knew about the letter that Zi Jin Kingdom sent to him? Yan Qianzhong secretly prayed for his ancestors to bless him. His rejection letter must be sent to Zi Jin Kingdom and not get lost on the way. Otherwise, it would be hard to prove his innocence. He hurriedly sat down with his eyes on his nose and his nose on his heart. He secretly swore in his heart that if the Zi Jin Kingdom sent another letter, he would just give it to Jun Wu Yu and forget about it. It was fine to be enemies with the Black Hell King, but he really didn't have the guts to be enemies with Yu Yang. Although the demon kings in the demon abyss have signed an alliance, the demon race is fickle, we still have to be prepared. Elder Yu Hai wasn't as strong as an innate, but his military skills were definitely at the peak of the human race. Jun Wu Yu had already given him full authority to command the army. Even the heavenly imperial guardians of Tian Luo had expressed that the Tian Luo army would listen to the old marshal's command and work together to fight against the Black Hell army. Elder Yu Hai was both happy and worried about Yu Yang's secret alliance. Firstly, victory was in sight if they were to win. Secondly, if they were to lose, the demon abyss might hit them while they were down. It was impossible to count on the demon abyss to fully abide by the alliance. Not to mention the demon abyss, even humans only believed in the strong and supported the victors. It is indeed difficult to win, but there is still hope for a draw. Shui Donglu, this old fox, was also a military genius. It was just that he didn't have the chance to display it normally. Leave the battle of innates to our heavenly imperial guardians. The heavenly imperial guardians of Tian Luo smiled elegantly. We might not be able to fight against the Black Hell King, but we will fight to the end against his 4 fallen innates. As for the Black Hell King, leave this mission to Night Empress and little Yu Yang. If it's just the Black Hell King alone, it won't be a problem. Jun Wu Yu tapped the table lightly with his index finger. After thinking for a while, he looked at Yu Yang. According to the information that little Yu Yang sent back, as well as the recent events, we have reason to suspect that Shun Tian, the Black Prince, the Thousand Goblins sect leader and more fallen innates will join the battle at the end. Indeed, this is a problem. It is not realistic to ask Baruth and Haexayan to fight against Shun Tian, the Black Prince and the Thousand Goblins sect leader in advance. The ascetic practice saint was not optimistic about the reinforcements from the demon race. Is it possible for little Yu Yang to ask Sky Law to help? The scholar teased Yu Yang with a smile that didn't seem like a smile. Actually, everyone knew about the relationship between Yu Yang and Sky Law. It will be difficult. Yu Yang shrugged his shoulders and spread his hands. Did you two quarrel? It was rare for the ascetic practice saint to crack a joke. No, a few days ago, I killed Sky Dragon, who was ranked 10th in the demonic palace. I reckon that the people from the demonic palace will be furious when they see me now. Yu Yang shook his head and sighed innocently. If I knew that the Black Hell King would attack, I would have spared his life. I really didn't know at that time. Puff puff puff. Everyone who was drinking spat out their water. Feng Xiaoyun, Xue Wendao and Yan Qianzhong almost coughed out their lungs. Actually, everyone knew that Sky Dragon was Yu Yang's love rival. If Sky Dragon were to meet him, even 10 lives wouldn't be enough to kill him. However, even if they knew this, they still couldn't help but feel shocked. No matter what, Sky Dragon was a powerful level 6 innate. If he came to Xia, he would definitely become a heavenly imperial guardian. Who would have thought that he would be killed by Yu Yang without a sound? The most ridiculous thing was that when Sky Dragon died, Demonic Palace actually suffered this loss and did not pursue the matter. No matter what, they should have protested. But now, there was no reaction at all. It seemed that even Heaven's retribution was a little wary of this brat. If it was someone else, it would be weird if Sky Execution didn't kill them immediately. Jun Wu hurriedly comforted Yu Yang, who pretended to be disappointed. It's all right, the Demonic Palace also respects the strong. I support you. Go ahead and kill your way into the Demonic Palace and snatch Sky Law back. If Sky Dragon died, he would have died in vain. Furthermore, you are doing this for the sake of the people. Your Majesty, please don't teach this kid bad things. Elder Yu Hai was embarrassed. Everyone tried their best to hold back their laughter. Actually, even if Yu Yang didn't teach him, he would still be bad. Even if Jun Wu didn't mention it, Yu Yang already had the intention to go to the Demonic Palace to negotiate. He had already gone to the Demonic Palace. Why couldn't he go to the Demonic Palace? If he could trick enemies like Baruth and Haoxian, Yu Yang didn't believe that he wouldn't be able to trick Sky Execution. No matter what, the Demonic Palace and the Xia Kingdom could still be considered as brothers. The reason why Yu Yang didn't leave immediately was because he was waiting for news from Impatience. With her acting as the middleman, he wouldn't need to waste too much time and he wouldn't need to see Sky Execution putting on airs. He could directly negotiate. If it was before he entered the prison Emperor Divine Palace, Yu Yang wouldn't have the confidence to convince Sky Execution. After the battle between the three great leaders of the Heaven Realm, obtaining the Prison Emperor Divine Seal, and finally fighting the Scarlet Emperor and obtaining the Great Demon King Baruth's secret contract, Yu Yang was at least 80% sure that he would be able to trick Sky Execution. Yan Qianzhong looked at Yu Yang and saw a confident smile on this brat's face. His heart skipped a beat. Damn, looks like this time the unlucky one wouldn't be the Xia Kingdom, but the Black Hell King. This was because this brat was destined to be favored by fate. If the Demonic Palace joined in, Shun Tian, the Black Prince and the Thousand Goblins sect leader would definitely escape faster than the other. Only the Black Hell King would be left. With Night Empress, Sky Execution, Sky Law, Baruth, Haoxian and the others attacking him together, and with Yu Yang causing trouble, the Black Hell King would probably die. Thinking of this, Yan Qianzhong's ambition rose. Since the Black Hell King was destined to lose, how could the Zijin Kingdom and the Western Lion Pagoda survive? With the collapse of the three great powers, the four great clans would definitely rise. Even if the Yen clan couldn't get all the benefits like the Yu clan, it wouldn't be a problem for them to get some leftovers. At the very least, the Yen clan's position among the four great clans would be stable. The Hai clan and Yi Kong wanted to chase after him, but he wouldn't give them the chance. Yan Qianzhong thought for a while and decided to do his best to support Jun Wu in repelling the enemy. If he stood in line now, it would be a blessing for his future generations. Your Majesty, Qianzhong's territory is closer to the Zijin Kingdom, so I am familiar with the information regarding the Zijin Kingdom. Now, I will report everything that I know to Marshal Yu Hai. Maybe it would be useful for Marshal Yu Hai to dispatch troops. Yan Qianzhong immediately stood up and reported. Seeing everyone's expression of, "I was waiting for you to say this," he couldn't help but break out in cold sweat. Chapter 426. Just as Yan Qianzhong was talking about Zijin Kingdom's secret, Feng Kuang came to report that there was a messenger from the Demonic Palace, representing Sky Law, to invite the Yu clan's third young master to the Siema Valley for a meeting. Jun Wu and the rest looked at Yu Yang, looking like a gossipy man. Before leaving, Jun Wu even pulled Yu Yang. "Don't you have any secret code between you and Sky Law? Could this be a trap?" Yu Yang was sweating profusely in his heart, but he pretended to be an obedient child. "Actually, Sky Law and I have a very pure friendship. We are all together in search of a higher realm of martial arts. No matter when we first knew each other, or until now, we have always maintained a relationship of friendship between gentlemen. Everyone in the imperial study fainted. Everyone couldn't take it anymore. This brat's shamelessness was not only shameless, it was a whole new realm. Even Jun Wu-yu, who was an experienced womanizer, couldn't handle Yu Yang's shameless demeanor. They were just short of giving birth to a baby. Everything else was about the same. Friendship between gentlemen? Pure friendship? Even a fool wouldn't believe such words if they were to spread it out. Whether it was a trap or not, Yu Yang decided to go to the Siema Valley. If Sky Execution really wanted to kill him, the best time wasn't at the Siema Valley, but when the Black Hell King's army arrived. Now that they had agreed to meet at the Siema Valley, it meant that there was still a chance to salvage the situation. Of course, Yu Yang believed that Sky Execution already knew about Sky Dragon. He could only hide the fact that Sky Dragon was killed by him for a while. Sky Execution might have known about it long ago, but they just didn't find trouble with him immediately. At the Siema Valley, it seemed that a fight was inevitable. Yu Yang was not afraid of a fight. It was time to meet Sky Execution anyway. The Siema Valley was a good place. It was said that it was a beautiful grassland in the past. The scenery was beautiful, the grass was green, and the songs of people herding sheep could be heard everywhere. It was simply a rare paradise on earth. Until one day 2 brothers came to this place. The elder brother had the lofty ideal of cultivating to the pinnacle of martial arts. He suggested that the younger brother head east to find the Eastern Saint and learn from him. The younger brother, on the other hand, felt that they should head towards the west. He felt that the Western Saint, who repaid kindness and grudges, was more suitable for him and his elder brother than the Eastern Saint, who lived a simple and indifferent life. Because the 2 of them were descendants of a powerful clan, after their parents died, their family's assets were seized by their uncle and uncle. The 2 brothers were chased out of the clan, and so the younger brother wanted to become an expert and return to their clan, seizing the position of the clan leader. Ironically, the elder brother encountered the horse bandits on the way and was severely injured. When he was on the brink of death, he encountered the West Saint who was passing by. As for the younger brother, because he saved a young girl from the hands of the mounted bandits, he received the favor of the Eastern Saint. This young girl was the Eastern Saint's maternal granddaughter. 10 years later, the elder brother, who had experienced a drastic change in temperament, followed the Western Saint to learn martial arts and became a vengeful martial artist. As for the younger brother, because he married the Eastern Saint's maternal granddaughter and had a son and a daughter, in addition to learning martial arts from the Eastern Saint, he gradually lost his determination to return to his clan and seize the position of the clan leader. When the 2 brothers reunited, they could not agree with each other due to their differing ideologies. In the end, they fought each other. The younger brother, who was more powerful, accidentally killed the older brother. This triggered a great battle between the Western Saint, who wanted to take revenge for his disciple, and the Eastern Saint, who wanted to protect his grandson-in-law. The fierce battle destroyed the land of the Siema Valley. The land was burned and the torrential rain caused a flood. The battle between the Eastern Saint and the Western Saint at the same time triggered an earth-shattering earthquake. Thunderbolts danced chaotically, and the earth shook. Finally, the land split into 2 and became the Siema Valley, which now looked like a crack. The Siema Valley could be said to be the ancestral land of the Xia Kingdom. This was because the legend was true. The ancestors of the Xia Kingdom were the descendants of the younger brother who fought in the decisive battle at the Siema Valley. The earliest corrupted warriors of the demonic palace were the descendants of the elder brother who fought in the decisive battle at the Siema Valley. 3,000 years ago, the 2 families would have a decisive battle at this place every 10 years. The enmity between the 2 families deepened, until a lady whom the descendants of both families adored committed suicide in front of the Siema blood steel in order to stop the 2 families from fighting. Only then did the few remaining descendants of the two families stop fighting. The younger brother's descendants worked hard again and founded the Xia kingdom. The elder brother's descendants continued to lose themselves in hatred. They founded the demonic palace and swore that they would never reconcile with the Xia kingdom, unless the lady who committed suicide could be resurrected. This story is so king annoying. This was the reaction of Yu Yang when Princess Sisai told him about the legend of their ancestors. At that time, he was beaten up by the mad Princess Sisai and refused to talk to him for a whole day. Now, when Yu Yang stepped into the Siema Valley, he realized that this place had turned into a deserted land. The strangest thing was that the soil here was blood-red, just like human blood. Although Yu Yang knew that this was definitely not human blood, he couldn't help but feel a sense of sorrow and desolation. Of course, there was also a sense of injustice. Wasn't it just for a girl? Fighting to the death was really too stupid. Yu Yang didn't put himself in the shoes of others. If someone wanted to snatch City Mistress Fallen Flowers, Princess Sisai or Shui Wuxia from him, how could he not fight with his life? Not to mention the three of them, even if someone wanted to snatch his cute half-elf slave girl, Yu Yang wouldn't hesitate to chop them to death. Snatching a girl from another world? This action was simply unforgivable. It was impossible for Sky Law to invite Yu Yang to this kind of place. It must be Sky Execution. Inviting Yu Yang to the Siema Valley definitely had a deeper meaning. They wanted to use this place to show that the two families were natural enemies and it was impossible to resolve the conflict. Yu Yang was well aware of this, but he would definitely feign ignorance on the surface, pretending that he didn't know and didn't understand. When it came to negotiations, whoever was shameless would win. Only an idiot would send a gentleman to negotiate with the other party. Dong, 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 dong. From afar, the sound of war drums could be heard, making people panic. This wasn't the beating of drums to urge them to fight, it was more like the sound of a death knell, causing people to feel disheartened. When Yu Yang heard this, he immediately slowed down his footsteps like a movie and slowly strode forward. It took him half an hour to walk to the front of the drumming giant. The drumming giant, whose muscles were like iron, had already stopped. He glared at Yu Yang with an angry look, as if he wanted to eat Yu Yang alive. "What are you doing? Walking so slowly, I kindly marked a spot for you and let you come here. It's fine if you don't feel grateful, but you purposely walked as slow as a snail. Are you purposely looking for trouble? Come, I'll spar with you." When he heard this, Yu Yang immediately revealed a face full of smiles. His lips were red and his teeth were white, his smile was as bright as the sun. As the saying goes, one doesn't hit a smiling person. The drumming giant's fist had already reached the tip of Yu Yang's nose, but he still stopped in the end. "You're not allowed to laugh, fight with me first. Damn it, I'm burning with anger just looking at your pretty face." Yu Yang's smile became wider as he chuckled. "How do I address this big brother? Are you Sky Fury or Sky Assassinate? Who's your big brother? I'm not related to you at all." The drumming giant was going crazy. This was the first time he met this brat, and he already called him Big Brother. If they met a few more times, he would probably have to call him Uncle or even Master. He had never met such a freak in his life. It would be best if this brat fought with just a few words, but this brat didn't fight, and even called him Big Brother intimately. The drumming giant did not know what to do. "Sky Law is my future wife, so you're also considered my family. Seeing that you're not young anymore, I'll let you be my big uncle." Yu Yang said it as if he was giving the drumming giant a huge advantage, and wanted the drumming giant to thank him for it. "You!" The drumming giant was so angry that he almost vomited blood. How did this shameless brat survive until now? Was there anyone more shameless than this brat in this world? You're making it sound so nice. Family, brother-in-law. If I didn't remember wrongly, some time ago, You killed a sky dragon who was similar to brother-in-law in the Thunder Fortress, right? Please explain why you didn't think he was brother-in-law at that time. A tall and skinny man wearing a long robe and carrying an ancient sword on his back appeared behind Yu Yang. This man was even more powerful than Sky Dragon. His gaze was extremely sharp, as if a single glance from him would open up a wound on his skin. Yu Yang did not look at him directly. Just letting him stare at his back made him feel uncomfortable, as if there was an ice-cold sword pressing against his back. Needless to say, this tall and skinny man with the ancient sword on his back was Sky Sword, ranked 9th in the demonic palace. After Sky Dragon's death, he would be the only sky demon with the power of innate level 6 among the 10 sky demons. Of course, his innate level 6 was higher than Sky Dragon's. Even if both of them were at the peak of innate level 6, if they were to really fight, Yu Yang estimated that even 2 sky dragons might not be able to defeat this Sky Sword. Sky Sword's only weakness was probably that he relied too much on that holy ranked ancient sword. That was why he was stuck at innate level 6, unable to break through. Of course, with a holy ranked ancient sword, this Sky Sword was already very close to the drum-beating giant man, even if the drum-beating giant man himself had a platinum-ranked drum of regret. This ancient sword is really not bad. Yu Yang was drooling a little. If only Sky Sword was here, he might have snatched it away. However, Sky Execution was watching from somewhere, so he could not have any ideas about this ancient sword for the time being. Yu Yang returned to the main topic, answering the other party's accusation in a carefree and unhurried manner. He said shamelessly, "Actually, the matter regarding brother-in-law is very simple. When a person is willing to be brother-in-law, then he will be brother-in-law. When a person is not willing to be brother-in-law, and still wants to compete to be the son-in-law, then he will not be brother-in-law anymore. Since that's the case, I also want to compete and see how it goes." Sky Sword released thousands of sword chi. In an instant, the ground behind Yu Yang to a dozen meters in front of him was cut with sword marks. This was just the power of Sky Sword's stare. Yu Yang's wyvern armor also had a few cuts, as if it was cut by a sharp knife. However, let alone his cheeks, not even a single strand of his hair fell. He calmly fiddled with the ends of his hair, and said in an extremely arrogant manner, "You should just be at ease and be my brother-in-law. Just based on your appearance, if you dare to say you're competing, I'm going to laugh my teeth out. Have you never looked at yourself in the mirror? Even if I don't beat you up, my wife Sky Law will beat you up. It's important to know one's own limits. Please stand aside. I don't think you have the right to make decisions in my family. Find someone else who can make decisions and talk to me. Thank you." "You." Sky Sword was so angry that his green face turned red, purple, black. He wanted to pull out his ancient sword a few times and kill this brat. Then, piece by piece, he would hang them on the gallows and dry them in the sun. He had seen arrogant people before, but he had never seen someone this arrogant. After Sky Sword was defeated, a man slowly floated up from the bottom of the Siema Valley. He was so confident that Yu Yang was jealous. He smiled at Yu Yang. His lips were red and his teeth were white. His smile was as bright as the stars, making the sky and earth lose their color. He imitated Yu Yang's action of fiddling with his hair. His voice was like a spring breeze. "How about I be your competitor? When it comes to looks, I'm not worse than you. When it comes to making decisions, I can still make some decisions in my family. What do you think of me?" Yu Yang immediately changed from a gentleman to a little hoodlum. His words were extremely vulgar as he teased the other party. "Little girl, luckily you spoke up early. Otherwise, I would have beaten you up. You should know that I hate people who are prettier than me the most. It doesn't matter if it's a girl, you're welcome. I am Yu Yang, known as the Yu Clan's third young master. I have a good character and an outgoing personality. I have a car, a building and a house. I'm a rich second generation who doesn't have to worry about food and clothing. I have a boss to look after me, and I have a lackey to take care of me. In front of me, I have the city management to clear the way for me. Behind me, there are people to back me up. Being rich and powerful is a pure enjoyment. I love to take pictures and learn to be a playboy. Before this shameless person could finish his words, the other party had already fallen to the ground. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.